Champions. What's going on? Happy Sunday to our Seppo viewers. What's happening? Look like a little midget down here. Sorry, compact person. I don't know what they call them these days. I just went to put my headset on and the little cable clip's broken. These things are kind of flimsy at the best of times, but let me just do a quick field repair, quick temporary repair, which, as we know, is in this industry nothing's more permanent than a temporary fix. Am I right? What's going on? No worries, Paul. How you going, mate? G'day, Chris. G'day, hot dog pilot Andy. I love your crazy names, you guys. So yeah, just going to get a bit of, I feel like masking tape's going to look a little bit unprofessional. I can't really get heat shrink on it because it needs to go over the elements at either end, which is either the connector or the mic itself. I should have put some heat shrink on it when I replaced the connector, but anyway, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I've got some Captain tape. What do they call it? Poly something or other. About 3/8 wide would be perfect, but it looks like it's one size I didn't get. What have I got? What have I got? Alright, that looks like 30 mil. That looks like 25 mil. Looks like 18 mil, 16 mil, and the tiny stuff. Let's use the tiny stuff because it's pretty strong. JCM 600, JTM 60, close, similar. Equally as shit. So I'm just running with it on my collar at the moment, so my apologies if my beard rubs against it and gives you a bit of a rustle crow. How about I put it up here? Less likely to present issues. Tuning in from Drizzly Cairns. I'm going to Cairns in a couple of weeks. Going to Brizzy. Well, not Brizzy, going to the Gold Coast on the way. Scotty, how you going, brother? Yep, not out fishing today, mate. It's a pretty, looks like it's going to be sunny. It's foggy here at the moment, but it wasn't as cold today as yesterday. Yesterday was freezing. Well, you know, Australian freezing. Not very cold for the rest of you guys. From the great nation of San Francisco. Is that a nation now, is it? You guys that divided already? Yes, you are. Yeah, I'd love to go to San Fran. I reckon that'd be an awesome place. Just like most countries, the cities can be pretty cool. Oh, got a retracted message. Oh no, what happened? Was that a typo? Catch up for a beer, mate. Yeah. I'll be hanging out with the missus though. It's sort of she's up there for a work function. And I am hanging out with my mate on the weekend while she's doing the work shit. And then she finishes, well, she's got a week off after that work. So we're just going to wander around Cairns and surrounding areas. We've got a hire car. And escape winter for a few days. Haven't been up as far as Cairns before, I think. I think furthest up I've been was Townsville. Townsville's as far north as I've ever been. Well, you know, in the country anyway. I've been to Japan, and Germany, and England, and France, etc., etc. Go to Port Douglas. What's up? What's up at Port Douglas? Much to see? Is that far up? I'll have a look at the map in a minute. Just bear with me. I'm just sorting out my ghetto little mic here. I did. I don't think I mentioned this, but I got a AKG dealership, so I'll be doing my first order with them at some point in the next month or so. AKG do some very nice stuff. I already do Audio Technica, but Audio Technica, although they make some awesome mics, they're not as industry recognised as AKG is. They both do pretty much the same sort of, you know, range of stuff. Like they've got all the same solutions and similar budget levels and quality levels and feature sets and whatever. But AKG, I don't know, were they around? I don't know if they were around for longer or what, but they seem to be a bit more recognised in the industry than Audio Technica is, unfortunately for them. But you know, we've got access to like the D112, the C414, and all their beautiful headphones. They got some amazing headphones for hi-fi, as well as high quality monitoring and tracking, and wireless systems and all sorts of stuff. So, Darren, how you going, brother? Townsville, Ontario. Yeah, there's Townsvilles everywhere. We're a one of those English colonial countries where we've got the same names as everything in the ook, and all the other Commonwealth countries. That looks alright. That's a bit more organised than it was before. We'll see how that goes. Plug that in and see how we go. I got my beard trimmed, but it doesn't look like it, does it? AKG, nice. Over lovely old C12A. Beautiful thing it is. Yeah, they got some cool stuff, man. Their overheads as well. Even just their small diaphragm condensers are nice. Alright, just bear with me. I'll just plug in. There might be a bit of a pop for a second. Alright, how's that go? Does that sound better? But we also got Fishman. So we've got Fishman. I just got my first order of loud boxes. You know, they're acoustic and acoustic amps with the microphone input as well, so you can do the busker thing because some of them are cordless. Good for small gigs and built-in effects, all that kind of thing. I haven't even cracked the boxes open for that. I've got a couple on back order. The bigger one, I think, is the Performer. I think it's a big boy. It's like retail $2,000 or something. Freestanding amp thing, and then there's another one of the minis, Loudbox Mini, I think, is on back order. So I'll wait till I get them all in stock, and then I'll put up some promotional posts and just let everyone know I've got them in stock, ready to rock. Because everyone keeps asking about acoustic amplifiers, sort of focused more on like smaller gigs rather than like, you know, PA systems per se. A lot of musos just want to plug in and go for it, and instead of fucking around with mixers and separate speakers and setting everything up, they just want to plug in and kick ass, and they're pretty good for that. No bullshit. Looks a little bit less pretentious than having a little stand with a mixer and everything for just an acoustic player. When I was over in Australia last time, we took the kids snorkeling on the reef off Cairns. I know it's a touristy thing to do, but it's bloody marvellous. Dude, it's not touristy. It's like, it's just a fucking amazing natural wonder, dude. Like, I think when people travel, and I was guilty of this too, when people travel, you got to get over the looking like a cringe tourist thing. I mean, whatever it takes to experience the coolest shit, don't be ashamed for that. Just go for it, man. Be unapologetically touristy, I reckon. Like all there seems to be like an elitism in some places like Japan that rubbed off on me a bit. Oh, you don't do that. That's cringe. You know, you got to go down to the back streets and see the real authentic stuff. You don't do all the touristy stuff. Fuck that. Do the touristy stuff too. Do everything, man. So we did the stupid street carts in Shibuya, and I was like, oh, this is going to be cringe. But then I had the fucking time of my life, so fuck everyone. I've never used one, but I know many who do fisherman stuff, that is. The thing with fisherman, Scotty, is they're built, you know, out of like surface mount components, and everything's pick and place to keep the production high, production volumes up there, and keep the price down. But what matters more in that I mean, everyone does that now. So what matters now is what's the support like. If you're a company like Fender and you don't even supply a spare fucking knob if you lose one off your amp, like, no, you have to buy a new amp if you want a new fucking knob, then Fender companies like that can just go fuck themselves, right? But Fishman, I had a board that had failed Bluetooth on it. Otherwise worked perfectly fine, but the Bluetooth wasn't connecting with the phone. You press the button and a little Bluetooth light wouldn't even turn on. So just generally with problems like that on amplifiers where there's no documentation, I will contact the distributor or whoever's responsible for distributing and servicing the parts. And I'll just say, how much for a whole new board? Worst case scenario, the controller chip's fucked and it's obsolete. Or it's like proprietary or whatever. Worst case, what's a whole board worth? And they're like, you can either send it to us and we'll replace the board for free, just cost you the board, which is $60, or we can just send you the board for $60. I'm like, what? The whole main board for $60? And they're like, yep. I'm like, holy shit, it's amazing. And in reality, that's probably, they're probably still making 100% margin on that and the volumes they're making, but still, that's fucking awesome. No questions asked. Are you a service? Are you a authorized tech? No, they didn't even ask that. They're just like, yeah, here's a new board. I'm like, damn, that's good. So I ended up fixing the Bluetooth on there because it was a shorted tantalum cap. I ended up tracing down without a schematic. I did that on live stream too. I can't remember which live stream, but I remember everyone was like standing there in a bit of shock after I just repaired a Bluetooth on a Fishman Loudbox Mini without a schematic. But I tracked it down to a shorted tantalum cap on the Bluetooth power supply, which was a 5-volt rail. And that was causing that section of the power supply to go down. It's a simple thing. You just look up the data sheet for that chip. It was a QFN package, I think, Bluetooth controller, off-the-shelfer. And it had the audio codec and everything included. And I just looked at what the supply pins were supposed to have, and they didn't have that. And I traced it back, and before that dropping resistor, there was a voltage. And after the dropping resistor, there wasn't. And the only thing on that rail other than the chip was a tantalum cap, and I replaced the cap, and everyone thought I was a genius. But when you think about it, it's pretty logical. Like any decent tech would have come to the same conclusion. Yeah, anyway. But we also do the Fluence. So the electric guitar pickups. We've already got classics in stock in various colours. They do have some cool colour schemes, but I want to get the moderns in because I've got a lot of metalhead guitarists, some of whom have bought like their own Fishman pickups and just got me to install them in the past. So that'll be good to have in the on the online store and whatever, and also be able to sell as a service and install as well. But in addition to that, all the orchestral pickups, all the crazy acoustic pickups they've got for resonator, guitars, mandolins, all double bass, all these specifically designed for that instrument pickups, which previously you just have to sort of use a generic thing and make it fit and not have it voiced optimally. So that'll be great to be able to install pickups on pretty much any instrument that comes in. Banjos, you know, all sorts of crazy stuff. You know us hillbillies. We play some weird shit. Kansas rocking, all of Queensland, far north Queensland. Love it. Yeah, I just love the humidity and the warmth, man. Just the chilled out vibe. I find that Gold Coast and Brizzy's a bit plastic people doing plastic things. Go, 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 go. You know, like, oh, look how much money I got. Very fake. But then you go up further north and everyone's walking around in singlets and stubbies, and everyone's like the quintessential Australian that you see on movies and stuff overseas. You know, everyone becomes like a bit of a, I guess, a bit of a stereotype up there, which is kind of endearing. Flesh 84. That's me. I became Flesh in 84. I'm back with more dumb questions. No such thing as a dumb question, mate. They all lead to enlightenment. You say you're not a fan of the VH4. Is it just the layout, or do you consider an unreliable design? Or all diesels that way? All diesels aren't that way. I think it's only the VH4 for some fucking reason. They laid out a circuit board, and then they floated all the components above the circuit board and like mounted them floating in midair, like point to point. Fucking stupid. And all the solder joints were like tack soldered. Having said that, none of them had failed, but some were hanging on by like a strand, and I'm talking like the power switch and shit. And it wasn't rework either. You could tell there was no flux on anything. You could tell they cleaned it up afterwards. They built it, and I thought I had some fucked with unit, or thought I was just. You think you're crazy when you see this. You're like, hang on, this is a flagship amp, really high budget, really well regarded, and you open it up and it's built like a high school project, and it's like a prototype. It's like they've designed the board and then fully changed the design and just didn't commit to a redesign of the board. So you just like, it's bizarro world when you crack one of these things open and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? So I did what I always do and reached out to all my experienced tech mates and said, man, is this par for the course? Like, what's going on? And they're like, yeah, they're all built like that. I'm like, really? It's crazy. I mean, I can't remember what was wrong with that one. I think it was something stupid like a shorter cap. But yeah, there was like triodes that were conducting but not in the circuit too. Like, you know, when you're using like half of a 12AX7, you'll ground the other 3 pins that you're not using, right? On this, it had like a plate supply. The grid was like, grounded with like a 1 meg resistor, and that had like a bypass cap and a biasing resistor, but there was nothing connected to the plate, no signal output, and nothing connected to the grid, no signal input. So it was just sitting there using its however much current. Like, it didn't affect anything, but it's like, what the fuck? It'd be like having a workshop that's just constantly got like a diesel generator running out the back with nothing happening, nothing plugged into it. Like, it doesn't hurt anything, but it's like, why? It was weird, man. So yeah, I get why Dave doesn't want to start shit with other companies. I mean, at the end of the day, it works well. A lot of guys tour with these things, but the thing is that they probably have had a tech guy over a lot of them before they take them on the road. Look, a lot of people are talking a lot of shit about Dave, and I think Dave just doesn't want to play that game, because how petty does it look? Every time an amp manufacturer goes, I make the best amps in the world, not like that cunt and that fuckwit and that dickhead. Like, they do this and that and circuit boards. It's like you're just big noting yourself. I think people sort of get turned off by that, and I think he probably just doesn't want to play that game. He's busy, man. He doesn't have time for that shit. So yeah, I think that he probably stays a bit quiet on some of them, because he's just. At the end of the day, they do the job. They probably need to go over by tech, but once you've done that, they're okay. It's just inexplicable why they built them that way. That's all. Anyway, Simo, how you going, mate? Hepty, Brad. Hetpi. I think he meant to write hello. I don't know. Hetpi. That's the first time I've ever seen that word, but that's your word now. Joe, good morning from Misley? Do you mean Drizzly? You guys are really running me through the ringer here in terms of your typing. What amp are we talking about? Yeah, the diesel VH4. I'll just see if I can find some photos on that. I think someone's asked me about that before, so I probably downloaded them. But I periodically delete my download folder because it gets massive with schematics and software updates and you name it. And just see. Oh yeah, no, there it is. Alright, you ready to see the guts of the VH4 I was discussing? I'll just show you what I mean. Alright, so this was one that was brand new, never been serviced, and had a signal failure on one of the channels, I believe. Or it was popping or something. It's something funny, I can't remember exactly. I'd have to look up the invoice to know exactly what the symptoms were. But reportedly Bert Newton bought new and never repaired or serviced. And then it came to me, and this is what I found. So, power switch. Pretty good soldering there, eh? So that's got heat shrink over it, but that sharp bit hanging on by that tiny little bit of solder there on the edge of the eyelet, not passing through it, had cut the heat shrink and opened it up. So they put a hole in the terminals for a fucking reason. The wire's supposed to pass through them, but you can see they didn't bother doing that. For the price they ask, this shit's unacceptable. Oh, sorry, that's a mess of boogie mod. So they've got these connections, just the soldering wasn't great, melted insulation, stuff that there's no excuse for it on an amp of this value. You've got tack soldered caps across the bridge rectifier, and you can see the bridge rectifier is a PCB type, which is unacceptable as well. You can get ones with terminals and they cost the same amount of money, and you can solder to the terminals. But instead they used a PCB type, and then they just tack soldered the spliced wire, or the wire onto it, and then each one just had tack soldered and melted the cap body a bit, which is probably not required if you used a line filter anyway. Relays on their back, tack soldered things to that, melted, flux everywhere, pins bent together, and glued to the board. Shit flying up in midair. This is not great for vibration, obviously. The first thing is you've got a massive fuck off cap floating in midair, and you've got all these mods which are inexplicable, and just redesign your fucking circuit board, man. You get paid enough to. And you can tell that was the date, and I think this was a year ago I worked on it, or more. Melts to the ribbon wire from soldering stuff. It's like they build the amp and then they modify it. I heard somewhere that they voice each amp individually, but why? Like to customer requests? I don't know if they've got like you order it and then you ask for, I want more of this, less of that, blah, 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 and they do it for you. But to me, if you buy a VH4, it should be a VH4. Like, what's the point of putting a model number on it if every one of them's different? You know, you'd never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates. I don't get that either. Box of chocolates. Did they used to be random? They even have pictures on the back showing you what you do get. I don't know. It wasn't the full quid, the old Forrest Gump. You can see it's a high quality circuit board. They've got silver plated, through hole plated pads. Pretty small pads, mind you. They could be bigger than that, but... And the traces are rather narrow, but I think it is 2-ounce copper. Strange manufacturing on the board. You got some traces that pass a bit too close to that screw for comfort. That does have a nylon washer, but I just don't like having pressure on it because it could break through the solder mask. Big runs of uninsulated wire. If you squash that down, it could touch the heater traces and short out the heater circuit. Again, you got another relay on its back. Let me just check the stream. Everything going alright? You can still hear me and everything? Sometimes when I do a screen share, I just need to double check everyone can hear me and stuff. Yeah, just amateur hour, you know. And you got another date down there from someone who, I don't know, inspected it or tested the program, the chips or something, I don't know. And yeah, just more crazy mod stuff here when you could just lay out a new board to suit your needs. Got stuff floating in midair, mods, burnt flux, just crappy work all over. That had been cut off and then resoldered to the top. I don't know. I mean, my first reaction was this amplifier had been fucked with. It had been modified. I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. So I assumed that they're not releasing amplifiers like this. Like, why would you cut the leads off a resistor and solder another resistor? why wouldn't you just remove that resistor? It's through plated board. Like, you just desolder it from the top. So I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and then I looked up photos and got some other techs to share the photos, and nope, they're all exactly like this. So that's when the benefit of the doubt stopped. Look at that solder joint. That is hanging on for dear life. Why don't you just wrap it around the lead, or even better, get the suitable bridge rectifier for the application, one that's got fucking terminals, not pins. Because as I say, they cost the same amount of money, and even that cost shouldn't be an object for this thing, from how much they're charging. So yeah, that's why I'm not a fan of any of these. That was almost touching the other terminal. I had to cut that. Yeah, did a bit of clean up to stuff, but everything was just an afterthought. You got big bus wires, tack soldering. That's our mate Reeves Electro. He'd fucking wet his pants over that one. He loves that shit. Realistically, that's probably never going to let go, because it's only attached to an LED. But if you had a more massy part connected to that, you could crack the joint. And then we're back onto other photos. So yeah, not a fan of that. And that's why. Did they have an endorsement deal with Stevie Wonder? Just got my hands on an Engel Screamer. Wish me luck if I ever get to repair it. It was cheap, so probably will happen sooner or later. Look, they're not the end of the world. Everyone complains that their boards are upside down. There's so many brands that do that. Mesa do that. Fucking Hughes and Kettner do that. Lots of brands have inverted PCBs. It's not the end of the world. But then, you know, people will get defensive when I sort of analyze an amp like that, and they'll be like, "Oh, how many fucking amps do you build a year?" Oh, fucking it's like, it's not what I do. I don't like. If I did that, I'd do it better. I don't get why people are like, you have to build over a certain amount of amps a year to have an opinion. Well, I do one better. I fucking repair them. So I build, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 amps a year, but that's not my fucking business model. It's like saying your wheels keep falling off your fucking car, and you fix it, and then the axle snaps again, and your wheels fall off. It's like, you can't criticize that. How many cars do you build a year? It's like, do you know how fucking stupid you sound when you say that shit? But a lot of guitarists are fucking stupid. No offense, champions. Why don't Fender make better amps? Basil. That's a loaded question. I would think their purchasing power and manufacturing capabilities, they do nothing but top notch. That's not how it works, Basil. It's not how capitalism works. Capitalism is designed to take your money and give you nothing in result. It's designed so you get as little return for as much money as possible. That's the only game. They don't care about your amp or how it sounds or whether you like it or whether it... All they care about is the bottom line, the dollars, man. They don't give a fuck about you. The sooner you realise that, the better. Go for smaller manufacturers that do care. Mizzle, localism for miserable fucking drizzle. That sounds a bit Snoop Dogg there. Mizzle in your drizzle. It's persistent, doesn't stop for days or weeks. That's normally what it happens at the start of wet season, yeah? Not this time of year. The weather's all fucked up at the moment, though. We're destroying the planet. Man, why even bother to do this if you're building your own PCB? Yeah, that was my argument. Why don't you just lay the PCB out how you want it? Like, and that's a new one. Like, the old one's apparently the same. I don't know. I need more evidence, because often these high-ticket amps, you only see 1 or 2 of them over a couple of years, and you sort of don't have a base level as how they advance. Like, I've got that Swart Space Tone, and it's built completely different to the one that like Lyle did a review of. It's a lot more production oriented and looks a lot more professional. You had another haboob last night. It rained some mud for a while. A haboob. How do you keep getting haboobs if it's raining? Isn't it a dust storm? So it's just picking up dust from out west. Well, I say west here because that's where all the dust comes from, but wherever the dusty area is near you. Looks like there was an engineer who submitted an octopart bill of materials and the auto sub parts list shipped out. Wonder if it was assembled during the great parts shortage. No, well, it was assembled in 2024, so... But even that, like, there was ways around stuff. The parts shortage really hit, like, the semiconductor market and stuff. It didn't... I mean, there was some stuff that was shorted, like the valves and stuff. That was a whole combination of factors, like the war in Russia, Ukraine. I'm not going to call it war in Ukraine anymore because Ukraine got hands. It's the war in Russia and Ukraine now. Omron is just barely what I consider a very low-end industrial grade relay. Why are they all laid out dead bug style? Yikes, Bodry at its best. Yeah, Omron Japan is some of the best relays you can get, Satch or Seth. But everyone's got their lower end markets. You think I could get a 2C plus, get into C plus territory if I cranked the mids in a BE100, put a 5-band EQ in the effects loop? You do better than that just using the BE100 Deluxe as it is, because that mesatone's a bit shit, to be honest. The reason you got to scoop that 5-band EQ is because the mids are so stupid. Yeah. I don't know, I'm not a fan of Method, to be honest. They make the amp so it performs poorly and then they do corrections later to make it acceptable. Why don't you just make it acceptable the whole time from the input to the output? Anyway, think of most musicians' equipment like their genitalia. They can brook no criticism. Brook? I haven't heard that word used in that context. I'll have to look that up. Oh yeah, the Soviets were famous for their high quality consumer electronics. No, they were not. So Haboob is the downdraft blowout wind from a thunderstorm. So it's like the, not the RFD, what do they call it? Inflow? Sometimes they miss us, sometimes they rain out before they can get here. Not all 2C pluses have the 5-band EQ. I don't know. I don't know that there was a hard and fast rule with the model types until I made it to like Mark III. I do like the Mark IIIs. I think the Mark IIIs are a good equivalent to the 2C plus. Bit of a weak reverb, but who the fuck wants reverb on a Mesa? But yeah, shit effects loop and silly stuff done throughout, like tantalum caps where they're exposed to voltages right on the edge of their rating. So electrolytic caps will cop a bit of a surge. They'll have a surge rating, so you can overvolt them slightly for a small amount of time. Tantalums just say, no thank you, and they shit the bed and they stay that way. They just go hard short circuit or very low resistance, and then they remain that way until they're replaced. So replacing all the tantalums with good quality electrolytics is a good move. Brad, I think I remember you saying that you had a Mesa right when... yeah, when I was younger. You used to like them. So I thought I was fooled by the marketing, Paul. A lot of my favourite guitarists use Mesa, like John Petrucci, you know, Hetfield, the Metallica guys, a couple of other bands, use that brand. So I was fooled by the marketing, thinking that they were like, you know, like military grade bloody equipment if they were dragging them out on the road and touring the world with them. And that was the amp to have, because I didn't know anything about amps at the time. And I went and bought a Triaxis and a Simul Class 290, and I could not get the fucking thing to sound any good. Sound okay at extreme settings, like dynamic voice fucking all the way up. And had some issues with the Simul Class 290. I think Dad repaired that because I wasn't repairing amps at the time. But it was a big rig, and I had a TC Electronic G Major rack processor as well in the effects loop. And it worked okay, but it was like you change between all the different modes on the tri-axis and nothing fucking changed. And I didn't realise that's because everything, like the EQ and everything, was before the distortion took place, so the EQ did fuck all to change the tone. I was like, I've used other amps where you change the EQ and things happen, because I didn't realise at the time the EQ was after the distortion on those amps. So I just thought I had a dud one, and I thought, let's sell this while they're still worth a bit of money. So I sold them, and I think I sold the I think I traded the tri-axis for a Mesa DC100 2x12 combo, and I think I sold the Simulclass 290. Because I just thought I had a dud, and then I used the DC100, and it was just as bad. It sounded kind of fucked. Fizzy distortion, and if you weren't distorting the fuck out of it, you couldn't get like a nice Akadaka tone out of it. You couldn't get creamy overdrive out of the thing. It just had this honk to it that you just had to dial out like fuck. So then I thought, fuck this, and I built my first amp, which was like a little 5-watt thing, and it sounded better, and it had like 6 components. I'm like, what? And that's what led me down the path of figuring out what makes amps tick, and why my little shitbox 6-watt thing with like 6 components in it sounded better than a fucking $5,000 Mesa Boogie with fucking 10 million components in it. And that's when I learned about gain staging, interstage attenuation, you know, tone shaping before overdrive, mechanisms to overdrive the signal. And that Mesa being dog shit actually is what got me into learning more about amp design, because I thought, how do they get it so wrong? Is it because you, again, like the VH4, you just think you're crazy. You think you're an idiot and you're doing something wrong, and then you realize, no, it's just kind of sucks. So after that, I think I built the TMB 18 watter, and that was great. And yeah, and a couple of pedals here and there, but that was about the time I really. I've been working overtime since I was 22, and I don't have time to do anything. It's so fucked. I should have just got a decent job and just stuck with it and worked my way up and just do 9 to 5 shit. So I've got time for playing gigs and whatever, like all the other people that come here for getting their stuff fixed do. But in this industry, you live it. You breathe it every minute of every day. You dream about amps. You wake up in a cold sweat with a solution that you haven't thought of, and it'll be 2 a.m. and you just want to get to the workshop to try it out to see if your hypothesis you just literally had to dream about will work to fix a problem or improve something. It kind of takes over your life, to be honest. And I've started to realize I've actually got to force myself to switch off from it, otherwise I'm coming close to burning out. And I think in the long periods of not releasing any videos, you probably had a bit of a vibe that's what was happening, and it kind of was. Got to get out and just get some sunshine and exercise, and just not think about fucking amps for a while, to be honest. Amps or guitars. Which sucks, because I want to spend that time thinking about guitars and playing with them, but you don't want to fucking look at them after working on them all week. I wish I could just flick ahead from tech mode to creative mode, but flick a switch in my head, but you just can't. I'll do my best to try it. Maybe I need to do some fucking ayahuasca or something. I don't know, some mushrooms or some shit. I don't know. Just to get that Zen mode back. It's really effing humid today, but the rain is up southeast of Flagstaff. Maybe Bruce Sinky's house will flood. Oh, that's a bit mean. I wish no harm to any shit amp designers. I just wish they'd stop being shit amp designers. Messes chug okay, leads not so much. I mean, the thing with the Mark IIc, well, any of the Mark series really, except for when they started doing the multi-channel ones like Mark IV and whatever. Until you've got independent channels, you really got to either set the thing up for a lead tone or a clean tone or a slightly overdriven tone. You can't just do what you can do with like a Marshall amp where you just dial it up to a chug tone, just roll off your guitar volume, and you've got a fucking cleanish tone. One you can work with anyway. The beard fills out more and more with each kangaroo kill. I don't think you have to censor yourself like that, AP530. It's not TikTok. She don't use butter. She don't use cheese. She don't use jelly or any of these. She uses Vaseline. He's got the radio on in the background. Silly song from the 90s. I'm thinking I'm gonna get a BE100 Deluxe and a modeler for everything else. The BE100 should do the job for you, man. To be honest, are you playing gigs? Like, what do you need a 100-watt amp for? Most of which appear to not be built very well. There's too many legendary amps, most of which appear not to be built very well. Tell me what you're doing, Flesh. I think we've been through this before, but tell me what your scenario is, what music you're playing, what are you playing gigs, are you just playing at home, are you recording, what are you doing? Are you doing everything? Tell me exactly how you want to use this thing, and we'll come to a conclusion that might help you out. Trump's bringing up new tariffs, bullshit that is going to affect Australia. I was thinking those Pro Juniors would be cool. 2x10, 30 watts. Those Pro Juniors would be cool. 2x10, 30. Oh, okay. If you were going to go stereo, is that what you're talking about, AP? Yeah, he's used... so the tariffs were illegal, and they had a time limit on them. But he loves fondling the money like he loves fondling teenage girls. So he he's got a whole team of minions that will try and find justification for the illogical shit he wants to do because he's got syphilitic brain disease, right? So they found some loophole that says if you can be found to be using slave labor, they can put a tariff on you. Like, we've got minimum wage here, man. Like, our minimum wage is like 4 times what yours is. If anything, you motherfuckers are the slave labor. But they're saying that we're using slave labor for our products from China. Like, they don't get their products from the same place. It's all just horse shit, and it's all just bullshit. They know they're bullshitting. You see them smirking when they say it. And they're just using it as a loophole to inflict more tariffs on us because the only way they can sustain the amount of reckless spending they're doing, instead of giving you healthcare, they're bombing, Middle Eastern countries at Israel's behest. They can't find the money for it unless they implement a new sales tax on you Americans. And if they called it a sales tax, all the hogs and the MAGA fuckwits would... maybe not be on board with it, but if they call it a tariff and say that the other countries actually paying it, those fucking retards will be stupid enough to be on board with it, where they don't realise that we don't pay the tariffs, you guys pay the tariffs. We add it to your price, and you end up paying even more so because we probably trying to make a margin on it as well. So yeah, it's... basically, you motherfuckers are too stupid to be allowed to vote, and I think you should be removed from the gene pool because you are destroying your own country and doing your best to destroy the rest of the world. So the sooner you're taken out of the voting pool, the better. And you don't seem to have much regard for your own well-being, so I don't think that'll take too long. You seem to be shooting yourself in the foot at every chance you have, so good luck with that. Sleep in that bed you made for yourself. We'll find ways to get by. We'll just bypass the US entirely. It's the only... You've only made that our only choice to not do business with you, so we'll find other places to do business with. Simple as that. Alright, Flesh. Only thing I don't know if the BE can do is aggressive modern metal stuff. Yeah, it can fucking do that, for sure. If you did want to... But, like, the BE100's got tons of gain, man. See if you can try one out. Go to a local dealer that sells them. Just see if you can try it out, man. There's still music shops around. Pardon me. Ooh, you're seeing the Flaming Lips next weekend, Paul. That should be awesome. Supporting Nick Cave. Holy shit, what a gig. Man, there are so many gigs coming up. There are so many gigs. I'm going to see Silver Sun Pickups on Wednesday. I love Silver Sun Pickups. And there's just been announced that Faith No More and System of a Down might be doing a joint tour. We've got Queens of the Stone Age doing a joint tour with Primus, which I'm going to try and get tickets to before they sell out. We've already sold out of the floor tickets, unfortunately, but that's okay. We'll just sit there with popcorn and a beer. It's very un-rock and roll, but you can't always get floor tickets, champions. There's also, I think there was rumours Pucifer's coming out. There's a whole bunch of ones I'm forgetting. They've just started announcing bands for Good Things Festival. I don't know if you guys remember that thumbnail I did in a last live stream. That was me at Good Things Festival, looking like a clown, with my mate Joel giving me the bird. But yeah, that was like a 45 degree day or something, and we were out there in the sun all day smashing beers. Fucking nothing wrong with it, mate. Heat stroke my arsehole. We were in the pit for Guar. Getting sprayed with blood and shit. It was awesome. Yeah, it was such a good day. I had so much fun. They say don't go to festivals when you get older, you know. I fucking love them still. I still feel like a bloody teenager when I go to them. I run around like a lunatic and act half my age. It's great. Whee! Get in the pit, do a bit of crowd surfing. Fuck yeah. Alright, where were we? Who are we talking about there, Seth? He is an arsehole. Sorry, I call him like I see him. Capital Electronics went out of business, so I offered to buy up closeout stuff. Never again. Capital Electronics, who was someone talking about them? I don't know. You, Seth, I'm going to call you Seth apropos of nothing, because you bring up stuff that's got nothing to do with what we're talking about all the time, and like I love you for it, but I sometimes have no clue what you're talking about. I'm just a washed up bedroom jammer. Well, you don't need a fucking 100 watt amp. I definitely don't need a 100 watt amp, but I want one, damn it. I've only ever used digital stuff. I want to have at least one solid tube amp. Flesh, you might be better off with Jason's P1 rack unit. If you want a proper valve amp, but also you're only in your bedroom, just get one of them, man. It's got the speakers, 2-note speaker simulated output. You don't have to fucking heat your room up with an output stage. That might be everything you need. It's not a modeler. It's still an analog preamp, but it's MIDI switchable, and also it's a fucking amazing thing. He's done such a good job on them. I want one just to play at home. It's such a beautiful piece of art, that thing. Yeah, try Headfirst Amplifications P1. Not to take a sale off Dave. I know he'd like to sell you a 100 watt amp, but I honestly don't think you need that. And if you do go something like that, maybe look at like a 20 watt version. Or, you know, like he's, I know it's got less channels, less features and stuff, but do you really need all that? If you've got a nice sounding amp, you might find you actually need a lot less. You need a less corrective EQ. You need a lot less stuff to make it sound good, and you can get away with less channels. If the gain structure's nice, you can use your volume control, and you've got another 4 channels right there, you know. Trump's random on and off ever-changing tariff rate bullshit is driving anyone with a brain at all nuts. Trump is a real estate developer and has a myopic view of how the rest of the world works. Man, he's stuck in the 50s. He's got no idea how the fucking world works. I got a Fender Princeton from Mojotone that Mojotone built. How is it, Seppo Marks? How's their builds? Because the Mojotone kits look great, and CE Distribution started. I don't know if there's a kit distributor that rebrands everything, and I don't know who it is. Is it Mojotone that makes up the kits, or is it a third party? I don't know. But StewMac sell them, CE Distribution sell them, and Mojotone sell them. They all have in-house branding, and they all look like the same kits. So it started with Mojo Tone, so maybe they've got a deal with Mojo Tone. But either way, they've got quality components, some silly stuff like the orange drops, but they do the job. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just they're suited to amps like that rather than amps like a fucking Mark 7 or whatever. So yeah, they look like really good kits. I'm trying to get them to send me one so I can review it and do a video on it for them, but I think they're a bit hesitant to send me free things. Joe, what's wrong with the CE distribution account application process? I did it like that. They gave me an account like they're going out of fashion. I had no problems. That was a couple of years ago, though. Yeah, you've been through this with me before, sorry. I mostly play 90s, alt and punk rock, a little Metallica. Man, a P1 would suit you great. And it's no bullshit. You don't have all the modeling fucking presets and stuff to work through. It's just a really good sounding preamp. And if you want a multi-channel, just get, well, more than multi-channel, because it's already multi-channel, but if you want to just get 2 racks and A-B between them, that'd be cool. Seth, we fail miserably at every election, no matter who we vote for. It's 2026 and we have the internet. Stop voting for the names on the ballot. There is a write-in box. Use it seriously. Yeah, but people can't be expected to think for more than 3 seconds, can they, Seth? Look, all of these people, they're just a symptom of end-stage capitalism. You need bigger thinking than that, rather than how do we fleece as much money out of the populace before the whole system collapses, and they know it's coming soon. So that's why all this shit exponentially is getting more and more overwhelming every day, because they know the end's coming soon. You can't have exponential growth forever. It's a mathematical fucking certainty that it's going to collapse at some time, and they're just trying to get their bag before it collapses and try and create a protected little society that they can live in when the rest of society breaks down, because basically things like the AI bubble will destroy the fucking economy. It's going to be a scale that we've never seen before. All this fake investment and bullshit and number twiddling to make their companies look good, just to rip money out of investors' pockets and your pockets. If you've got a 401k, you've got no control over it. You should be up in arms about that shit. Read about it, champions. You've got to get more into it. Don't read some fucking lunatic's bloody Rumble video or whatever. Actually fucking read some, you know, some people that know what they're talking about. It's just basic maths. Like, you just can't keep growing forever exponentially. It's just going to collapse at some point. Stock market's fake horse shit. I love it how they keep saying, oh, look at the Dow, look at the Dow. That stupid Pam Bondi fucking mole. Look at the Dow. Who gives a fuck about the Dow? I couldn't give a shit about the whole stock market. Is all horse shit. It's all just pretend fucking bullshit. Financialization. The Mojo Princeton Reverb is $12.60 out the door. It's not a metal amp by any stretch. No, it is not. But a decent pedal platform. I can run various kettle and bread and amp tweaker pedals if I want to do high gain. I've got a Princeton Reverb at home that I play, and I've just got a BE OD feeding that, and I don't like promoting Wampler because he's a mega fuckwit as well. But I've got I think he is. I don't know. I might be wrong there. Might be getting them mixed up. Don't quote me on that. I'll do my research. Strike that. Reverse it. But the what am I trying to say? The Super Fat Mod, I think it is, pedal to get more of a Fendery type overdrive, like a cranked Fender. And then I've got the BEOD from Marshall type overdrive, hot rod of Marshall. Martin, how you going, brother? It's only 4 days till I can have a whiskey. So I'll be thinking of you when I have a dram, champion. Good call, Brad, on the head first, but Flesh wants a stack. Yeah, he wants the most inappropriate amp for his purpose. Sorry for suggesting appropriate things. Sessions with Jeff. Hey, Brad, of all the amps you built, what is your favourite? Probably, yeah, the Dirty Shirley wannabe. The Cranky Karen. Haven't put an effects loop in it yet, but man, that's a beast. Only a 50 watter, but that's all you need. But yeah, 5V3. That's the bottom lip bite when you play one of them. So yeah, between 2 amps, if I had to have 2 amps, I'd probably have, yeah, like a Dirty Shirley-ish type. Somewhere between a Dirty Shirley and a 2204 and a 5E3, and that would cover pretty much everything I need. Anything else I could do with pedals. Time-based pedal effect anyway. Would love to know your go-to mods for a 5E3 build for reliability and versatility so I can handle punchy humbuckers and pedals. Sorry if it's well overdone, but just up for ideas for an upcoming build. That might be something I do on a members-only vid. And I don't like giving away stuff like that, just open slather. I feel like there's a little bit of work required to figure out these things. And also out of respect for other techs who have shared with me their techniques for some things, I don't like just throwing it out there because I feel like I'm undercutting them a bit. So it might be a members-only thing to limit the numbers and, you know, divert them to the guys who have either given me some of those tips or great books, like have links to the books that I've learned that stuff from, which all you guys can get to if you do, but I'd like to see you buying a copy of that book and learning yourself. So I might throw hints out there and then say it goes into more detail in this book, or it goes into more detail at this page. Consider giving him a donation on his page, like you know, many of the really great techs that we follow their pages, like Rob Robinette and Rod Elliott, pages like that, you know. Would 2 Pro Juniors with upgraded speakers keep up with a drummer? I assume it would work good. Probably not. Depends your drummer. I mean, if you're playing metal, fuck no. If you're playing jazz or soul or something, yeah, probably. And have you got a PA that you're using with it? You got twice as many mics there, and you got a sound guy. Sorry, I just got something in my eye all morning. You might have a sound guy that doesn't want to entertain stereo rigs too. Sometimes they go nut. You've only got one mic. Use it or lose it. Morning, Dad. How you going? And the Mojo Tone Princeton is sounding pretty good, but the reverb has a bit of hum above 3. But do you use above 3? Got to pull a chassis and tighten the hardware. Just make sure you got the output end of the tank positioned on the opposite side of the cabinet than the power transformer servo marks, because otherwise the pickup will pick up the magnetic field from the power transformer. I've also found that even in the stock Princeton circuit, the reverb's just too much, so I'll change the mix resistor value. Instead of 3.3 meg, I might make it as low as like 1 meg, and just to balance the dry and reverb. All you need is a business license and the state tax resale form to get in with. They like for you to have a website, but the biz license and tax resale form are mandatory everywhere. Yeah, so because I'm in Australia, the requirements are a bit different. All I had to provide, I think, was an Australian business number, and I think that was it. Yeah. Gold and silver, everything else is value extraction. Yeah, well, I mean, the gold and silver hoarding's getting annoying too, because my solder's gone up like double. It's like $300 for a fucking roll these days. TK, Thomas, how you going, brother? Listening in while trying to troubleshoot a piano accordion MIDI interface. Holy, what? And all MIDI instrument thing. Jesus, you say yes to everything. I thought I had the reputation as that. Wampler is turning AI shill. It's Keeley. Keeley. Yeah, okay, Keeley. Oh, hang on. No, I am thinking Keeley. Yeah, it's a Keeley super fat mod, and it's not Wampler at all. But yes, Brian Wampler is using a lot of AI in his ads, which I'm not a fan of. But thank you for clearing that up. I talked absolute shit about Wampler there. Wampler's a good guy. He sent me an email asking if I wanted to promote his courses. I said, look, maybe if I could do one, but I don't think there's any real easy way for me to do that, and I don't really have the time, so I politely declined. I thought he might just want an advertising promo spot on my videos, and I was open to that if he could send me some products so I could get behind him, but at the time I hadn't seen much Wampler stuff. I don't like promoting products I haven't seen before, but I don't want to have ads on my streams, on my videos anyway, so... Okay, so Wampler, yeah, I feel bad now because people could clip that out of context, but it's Keeley. So yeah, it's a Keeley super fat mod. I like the pedal, but apparently the guy's a fucking lunatic. So many techs are lunatics, eh? I don't know what it is. I think it's a bit of a, you can be a bit of an isolation individualist if you get into this trade. It's easy to get disconnected from reality. That's why you got to get out there and get some sun and mix with the people, man. Flash, I'm not wanting to pile on, but wouldn't one of those Friedman 20-watt ones with a 2x12 or 1x12 and the master volume be better than a 100-watt amp? You can still play gigs if you ever want to. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, Paul. But I think he wants more twiddly knobs to play with. Yeah, I've heard Brian Wamp was a good guy, so I haven't dealt with him a lot other than that one email exchange, but I'm getting that beat. Yeah, well, why'd you ask us for our advice then, Flesh? Just buy it and shut the fuck up then. Go and buy the BE100, buddy. Go on. And then sell it later when it's excess to your needs. At least it'll hold its value. I mean, they're great amps. Oh, speaking of System of a Down, we've got Chop Suey on the radio. It's going to be like Back to the Future where he hits a note and it throws him across the room. I hear you though and admit you're right, but I don't give a shit. Alright, well, don't ask us for advice then, you fucking time waster. Hey everyone, thanks for the live, Brad. Joshua Stevens, thanks mate. Mushrooms will work. Okay, speaking of apropos of nothing, Seth just wrote this, Satch Modi just wrote, Arcam developed an electron beam 3D printer that works like a CRT tube, but it melts powdered metal like a tube red plating melting its own plates faster than lasers and no moving parts. Who the fuck asked about that, Seth? Who asked about that? What has that got to do with fucking anything we're talking about? Yeah, you're talking sintered metal 3D printing. I saw some samples from Electronex. There's a company based in New Zealand that does it, and they make like manifolds and all sorts of crazy shit. And they showed us one that was sintered and one that wasn't sintered. And it was a honeycomb assembly that they built for a manufacturing plant. It was like a catalytic converter type assembly. And he said, break a bit off. I go, what? This looks like a fucking expensive part. He goes, it's fucked up. It wasn't in spec, so they let us use it. Break a bit off. I'm like, okay. So I broke a bit. It was just like I don't know, like an ice cream cone sort of kind of difficulty to break it off. And then they said, now break a bit off a sintered one. I'm like, okay. So I tried it, and I'm like smashing it on the desk, and nut wouldn't break. I'm like, holy fuck, you guys have actually done it. 3D printing metal has always been like a bit of a fantasy for techs, but for engineers. But it looks like they're getting there. Sean Weatherford, there you going? Morning, Mum. My dad has an Arcam amp. Don't think it's Arcam. I had a CD player that I never repair CD players champions. I don't know why I said yes to this one. I think the guy it was his dad's one or something. As always, don't get sucked in by the sentimentality of people and their gear. It's a piece of equipment that fucking was built for the lowest possible price to make the biggest profit by a multinational company. It's got nothing. It's not your parents. It's not your grandparents. It's just a bit of gear. But unfortunately, these people want to hang on to these things, and they get attached to them because their dad used to play music through them or something, and you end up getting roped into repairs, and they act all sentimental when they drop it off. But if it performs anything other than perfectly afterwards, they quickly turn into aggressive, what's the word? Legal angriness. Oh man, my hamstrings are so tight. I went for a run the other day. It's just gone 9 o'clock. It's Monday. I'm technically closed, but I'm expecting a delivery, so I might open the shop and light her up. I'm waiting on parts for that Marshall. It's got 550 volt caps, which is a bit less than convenient. I did find some though. Oh, Josh Pike. 11 degrees outside. It's a bit nippy. So I was waiting on a message from Six. I wonder if he's got out of bed yet. He hasn't commented yet. 5v3 with 470k grid stopper on the PI. Adjust the coupling cap for the drive stage. Adjust the coupling cap from the drive stage. What drive stage? Move the PI. Oh, from the driver stage. Move the PI cathode signal coupling cap to the junction of the bias and tail resistor. Lower the 0.1 UF caps. Yeah, that's some good stuff. Yeah, I prefer lowering the bypass cap as well. At least on the bright channel. Hang on, there's shared cathode. You can split the cathodes too, and you can do things like put 220k on the 220k on the bright channel plate load to give you a bit more gain there. Okay, you ruled out the reverb tank position thing. So it could be like lead dress if your return lead goes near the heater. Because that's just like another input stage. It's pretty sensitive. You could run a bit of coax there if you really wanted to. You might find just reducing the reverb mix will address it. Oh, hiccups. Pardon me. 10k grid stoppers. Oh. On the 6v6s. Yeah, grid stoppers at all. Individual screen grid resistors, maybe just like 470 ohm. Just to give you an extra bit of protection there for the valves. Bypass caps if you're doing it like a backup diodes on the rectifier. Flowback diodes if you're doing it like a head format where you're likely to be unplugging it, or using external heads quite a bit, just external cabs quite a bit, just to prevent any accidents there. I've got a 0.5 kilogram roll of Brad's favourite lead-free solder. 1mm, 50. What? That can't be my favourite solder then, because it's like $300 over here. You might have the stuff without the silver in it, Ted. Banks here in America did a pump and dump with silver back around 2007. They bought up silver and all the peons jumped in buying it because it was going up fast, and then the banks sold it all off. You know, old pump and dump. It's the entire economy is just pump and dumps these days, man. It's just everything's designed to fuck over everyone. What about the Dario AI music kerfuffle? I know nothing of that. Re 5v3 MKDS. What? Mods. All good, bro. I've been into Rob Robinette's site pretty deep. Yeah, Rob Robinette's site's great, but don't do them all at once. Yeah, Rod Elliott's less valve stuff, but he's got some very fundamental valve stuff, which is great, and stuff that a lot of people just gloss over. He goes into deep diving. So Rod's page is so good, just on general concepts. He finds like one thing and just puts the blinkers on and focuses on that one subject for an article and just goes right into the nitty gritty. It's so good. What's the mystery of the clon and the secret diodes? Fucked if I know. Pedals. Pfft, pedals. Who's got time for pedals? Flesh dropped a couple of hundreds on super chats with Dave. Oh, did he? He kept trying to get to the top of the list, was he? Sounds like he just wants to talk about BE100s, doesn't actually want to play them. Seth non sequitur. I want your advice. I need to know. Oh, they're not built like crap. No, I'm not going to beat you out, Flesh. You mentioned the stock market. Okay, so we were talking about the stock market, and then you talked about 3D printing metal. What the fuck's that got to do with it? It's okay. I don't mind it. It's just I'm trying to figure out where you're getting these ideas from. That's all. Yeah, the BE100s are built great. I think some of them had those ARS brand caps in them with the two bungs on them, which you just got to replace because they leak. Once you fix them up, it's good. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with these amps. They're fucking great. Mendit Mark uses 100k worth of gear to fix 40-year-old boomboxes. Yeah, but that's because he does it as a hobby. I don't think that's his main job. I think he's probably an engineer or something, and that's his relaxing free time. Which is what this channel used to be for me, but now it's fucking taken over everything. G'day, AmChamp Brad. Dave Newman, how you going, brother? A Monday rant stream. Not ranting. I've got some stuff I've got to do, so we'll do that shortly. I'm just catching up with the chat. I'm getting to the point where I've got enough viewers that I can just chat. I couldn't do that previously. It was, the chat I'd get to the end all the time, and it was probably less informed back then about a lot of stuff, less experience, so it was harder to keep the conversation going. But now I probably could just sit and have chat streams, you know. Couldn't do that before. There wasn't enough. It wasn't a critical mass of chatters. The driver in front of the PI. Did I read correctly that you were using a 6G6G tubes in a place of 6L6? No, you didn't read that. I don't know where you got that from. I don't even know what those valves are. Unless it was a typo. I meant to write 6L6GC. Brad, what do you think about the Billy Joe amp? I love 90s Green Day, not their newer stuff, but I don't know about 4K for a single channel amp with no effects loop. And the blue is off-putting. I think the blue looks cool. But yeah, it's pretty easy to do the mods. John Sir did the original mods in the Dookie amp, I believe. He'd probably even fucking tell you what they were, because he's a pretty open dude. Kind of sucks that they've taken his mods and then made a Marshall amp. He should have made it a Sir amp, yeah? He's got the money to. But I guess Marshall threw the money at him, so... To me, if I was Billy Joe, I know I don't need the money. I'm already a fucking millionaire. I'd want to pay homage to the dude who built the first amp and give him the publicity, you know, but I guess that's not how business works. Everyone needs the most amount of money possible at all fucking times, despite everything else. But yeah, that was just a heavily saturated tone. I think it was a combination of diode clipping and, I mean, you use a Silver Jubilee and it sounds pretty close to the Green Day tone. I'd probably just get a second hand or a reissue Jubilee. The reissue Jubilees are actually quite well built. I'd feel happy buying one of them. Good circuit boards. Well thought out. A bit closer to the vintage modern, but a bit more sparse of a board. A bit more sturdy. Yeah, I grew up on Green Day and stuff. It was about the time, early 90s, mid 90s, late 90s. I had to repair my own Denon Universal disc player, and it was a fucking nightmare trying to get parts, and the fault was mechanical tray loader mechanism. Yeah, I just tell everyone, look, when you don't know, people come here with a hi-fi unit. Like, a guy came here, he had a DVD recorder, like some off-brand, never heard of, like some Chang Yao or some fucking shit, and he's just like, I'd like to get this repaired. And I said, no, not a fucking chance, buddy. He goes, oh, really? Why not? He's really taken aback. He thought, it's just a matter of putting it on the bench and turning a few screws and then it's fixed. No, for starters, this unit's like 15, 20 years old or 15 years old. So even when it was manufactured, it was designed to be thrown in the bin. It was only designed to last like 2 years, if that. And then there'd be no aftermarket parts because it's an off-brand. So the only way you'd get it running is by buying another one of the same unit and pulling parts from it. And the reason the parts have probably broken is because they're inherently weak or poorly designed. So they're going to break again if not that one weak part is the one broken part in every disc decommissioned unit out there. So if you've got an obsolete device and it's got a proprietary part like a mechanical loading mechanism, be it like a gear or a pinion arm or something, and it's always the part that goes down first, well, every parts unit's going to have that part fucked as well. So even buying a unit and scrapping it for parts, you'll crack it open because they're not going to tell you what parts failed when you buy a parts unit. They just say not working as is, no more questions please. So you could buy 10 of them and that one part will be fucked in all of them. So it's just inherently, plus the thing when it was first sold was probably $200 and he thinks he's going to be, I honestly think a lot of people come here thinking a repair is going to be like $20. No idea where people get that idea from, but A lot of people come here, I think, thinking that's going to be the case. So when I get that vibe, I just say, yeah, it could be like $500-600, and they're like, what? And at least I'll, even if it's less than that, at least I've tempered them, their expectations to be, we're not just changing your light bulb in your car, you know. There's no known factors here. Everything, and by the time something makes it here, it's so usually so derelict and mistreated that you can't just fix one thing because everything else will break. Usual things, man. I've been reading Rod Elliott's page since I was 13. How good is it, Usual Things, that it's basically been unchanged? I started reading that in like 97, man, 96. And his page looks identical. Still no ads. I donate to it monthly. You guys should too. And there's so much stuff on there. Not only that, but he's continually still to this day adding new material every week or every month. There's new articles and in-depth deep dives into technical subjects. It's the best page on the fucking internet. Every time I lose faith in the internet and I'm like, man, the internet's fucked and shitification and whatnot, I'll just go hang out on Rod's page for half an hour and just... It can be good, still champions. It could be good if we want it to. We can go back there if we want. You don't have to just visit 3 pages ever, like your news page, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, YouTube. There are other pages you should frequent that you should put in your startup. So you might not think, I want to go check out Pipeburn today and see what custom motorcycle they're featuring. You don't think that, but if you put it as your homepage, it opens every time you open your browser and you're like, oh, fuck, look at that bike. And you read the article and you go through it. So you should be setting these pages to your homepage. Just when you switch on your computer in the morning, you're having your coffee, you're not ready to work yet, you're still warming up to it. Just have a quick browse of those pages and see what's new. Treat them like a news page for your little technical subjects that you like reading about. I reckon that's a good idea. Instead of the news, because that just makes us want to blow shit up. I replaced the blown power amp in my Chinese Fender SX100 red knob with an Elliott sound project. But you used one of his output stages. Cool. I've been I asked him actually. I asked Rod for permission to do his turn his it's a 6-band graphic EQ into a pedal, into a pedal project, and he was open to that. So I said, yeah, if you want, I'll make the PCBs, and I've got the layouts for the Hammond boxes, and I can send you little kits over if you'd like to sell them on your page, you know. I can sell them as well. Dave had an issue with the pot lube contaminating wafer. Has a cleaning protocol he'll send you. Yeah, there was that problem with the Alpha pots. I think it's like a recall from I don't know if it was a recall, but it probably should have been from Alpha. But you can fix it by giving it a flush and a couple of cycles. That's pretty standard maintenance stuff. Just have to do it earlier than later, you know. I like Mend It Mark, very knowledgeable, but he hates doing any preventative maintenance at all. Yeah, we're not all can't all be fucking legends, can we, Thomas? A lot of the consumer stuff, it's so complex. If you start doing preventative maintenance, it just makes it not worthwhile. So you just sort of, I mean, when you've got a massive like receiver amp or something that's got like fucking DSP boards and like 6 channels of amps and all of that, but one component's failed, if you don't just go in there and laser out that one component and, you know, replace what's failed, if you want to give them preventative maintenance, it's always gonna cost more than the market price of the amp. So I just don't take those jobs on anymore, because if something else goes wrong down the line, they will blame me for it, even though it's just something I haven't even touched. So I just don't touch consumer shit anymore. I used to, but it just gave me nothing but fucking annoying customers. So Seth is talking about the 6BG6. It is a 6L6GC with a top cap connection. Okay, so you might be talking about the Golden Tone Bassmaster I did a while back. Yeah, that was specific to that one amp. I've never used that kind of valve in anything else. That just happened to be there. Lyle, how you going? I have no idea why anyone would want to sound like Green Day, snot-nosed posers. Yeah. Who did the Dookie amp? That was, I thought it was John Sir, wasn't it? You think it was Bob Bradshaw? I'm pretty sure John was involved to some degree. I think he just released a video about it. Someone did. Or maybe it was on his Facebook page, I can't remember. How you going, by the way, Lyle? I only started 1 minute late today. I hope you appreciate that. I have Sir pickups in my Carvin hardtail Strat style guitar. I absolutely love those Sir pickups. These amps tend to sound pretty nice too. I've only seen the Badger and the Bella. And yeah, both were really well built. The Badger, I'm not a fan of the voltage scaling, the way it was done. Tended to have a bit of crossover distortion from memory, but I'll have to go back over my notes. Champions, I need to get an old school diary, a big fucker, like a page per day one, and just write my I need to like ruminate on the day at the end of every day, just to square my thoughts away. I think that's going to be my therapy, but I'm going to start that next year. I will do it. I'll buy one in advance. Because I'm trying to think what life was like even 3 years ago. And I sometimes can't remember, eh? So I think it's time to start a diary. And then when I do finish a job, I can go back to that week and go, oh yeah, I was working on it this day, and this was my personal thoughts, not the technical thoughts, but my personal thoughts about that amp or device or whatever. Plus just daily other personal, not related to work stuff. I bought a box of 20 pedals, and the guy tried to fix a few of them. He ended up doing more harm than good, so I have to undo his stuff before I can fix the actual problem. Yeah, that's pretty common, Scotty. Actually, yeah, I've got a dog shit pedal here to show you guys. I'll show you that shortly once I catch up in chat. It's like a $400 pedal. Lyle's being a boomer. He's not being a boomer. He'd rather listen to The Clash. But then people back then called The Clash posers too, so it's like, well... I also have a Sir pickup in my Carvin DC150. Carvin made some cool shit, eh? I remember their 12-string electrics. They were pretty crazy. I think Alan Holdsworth did a sponsorship with them as well. Hey Brad, I looked up that crystal reverb. Apparently it's some nonsense that they used to use at each end of the springs. Are you talking about the crystal thing? Because yeah, it's just a piezo transducer and a piezo pickup, and now they're not available. So yeah, that's an issue because the circuit's designed around that high impedance, and when you don't have that high impedance, you've got to design additional stuff to drive a magnetic, well, you know, a voice coil essentially, and then pick up from the other end, which is going to be another triode at least. Simo, the repairs you've done for me, I've always thought they were really well priced, Brad. Thank you, mate. I can't remember who you are or what I did for you off your screen name, but refresh my memory, I'm sure I'll remember. Delby still has some CD parts, even old VCR parts. And how much do you trust? Yeah, well, that's the other thing. How much do you trust 20 to 40-year-old plastic? Because the plastic itself will be brittle, and first time you use it, the teeth will fly off the fucking gears. So, Gen X, motherfucker. Yeah, that's right. The lead poison generation. Love you, Lyle. Love you long time. Vive la différence. Vive la différence. Oh, Lord, here comes Lyle. Oh, it just skipped. Here goes Lyle. I like their early stuff. Not a fan of the second half of their career, but the 90s stuff was gnarly. But I'm not going to argue about it on the internet. Yeah, I think Lyle likes Radiohead. Radiohead is the best band of their generation. No, whoa, that's a big call. But yeah, they are pretty fucking amazing, man. Like, when I was a contrarian teenager and early 20-year-old, I was sort of thought Radiohead was a bit pretentious. But listening to them now, I can see the genius behind it and how fucking amazing they really were. And I wish I was more into them at the time. And apologies to all my hipster mates who were into them, who I disparaged when I was going to fucking Megadeth shows instead. What does that tell you? I was a dumbass, that's what it tells you. I'm Gen X too, but I don't hate the kids in their... No, he doesn't hate the kids in their music, he just hates Green Day. Well, he doesn't hate them, he just doesn't like them. I saw a Green Day show at, I think it was the last Big Day Out. Was it Big Day Out? Yeah, I think it was. Might have been one of the last Soundwaves. Yeah, it's probably Soundwave because it was in Sydney. And it was a fucking circus act, man. It was lame. It went for like fucking 3 hours. I went to see like 3 other bands and had some beers, and I think we had something to eat, and then we came back and Green Day was still fucking playing. We were just there to see whoever was playing after them. They stretched songs out, ran around like dickheads, and just... I don't know if they were trying to do the Blink-182 thing or whatever, where they're just clowns on stage, but it was cringe as fuck, and that was like 10 years ago. It's like, man, you guys suck. But yeah, back in the day, they were good. They were great to listen to while I was smoking joints in the bush with my mates. The beauty of their music and gear, everyone can like what they like. Yeah. But then like Rush, I'm not really a Rush fan. I've tried really hard to listen to King Crimson, and I just couldn't. It's just too fucking weird. And some other stuff, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. It's just weird for the sake of being weird rather than speaking to the primal instinct that I look for in a band. I don't know. Like, I'll listen to a band like the Drones because there's something primal about it. It's like fucking... It's like going to medieval war or some shit. Like, it's an assault on the senses. And then some stuff's just like, I don't know. It's like... Yeah. And Green Day is equally as cool as Nickelback. Yeah, I've got mates that work for Nickelback, work on their amps and stuff, and apparently they're really nice, cool guys, and I'm very glad for that, because if they were cockheads too, man, that'd be unforgivable. Yeah, Nickelback, I can't get across Nickelback. I wonder if John would be willing to mod an amp for me with a Dookie mod. I'd like it to have a clean channel as well, independent EQ. It sounds like he would not work on that for you, Flash 84. If you're in a band and you're touring, yes, but if you're just tweaking at home, you're on your own a bit. I know everyone's money is as good as everyone else's, but there's only so much time in the world. I've had a few customers recently that are really obsessed about some tiny little detail in their rig, and I know they're not playing gigs, and they've got like $50,000 worth of gear in their toy room at home. And it's really hard to push back the work of a working musician who's out there creating art for the masses and performing flesh, blood, sweat and tears, what did Churchill say? And put their job back because of the good money of the blues dentist that's got $50,000 worth of gear in their spare room. Kind of can't do that with a clear conscience, so I always try to put the touring and the gigging musicians' work in front of everyone else's. I don't give a fuck if you think that's unfair. You're not me. Too bad. My goal is to make music sustainable, and if that means putting a lower paying job that I know is getting used 3 times a week to play a gig in front of a higher paying job that's going to go on a shelf and get played once a month. Yeah. Radiohead is as cool as Radiohead is as cool as Nickelback or Oasis to me. Really? But your knuckles have drag marks, Scotty. Oh no, do I have to start kicking people out? John did it. I thought John did it. Cool your jets. I'm basking in the sauna that is Memphis today. Might puke. How bad's... You got any storms? I don't care about the weather, but are you getting storms today, mate? What's the weather in Memphis? Memphis weather. Helps if I click on the address bar beforehand. Memphis. Oh, hang on. Okay, we're going live around 11 AM because 6 doesn't get out of bed until like 10. But 6 at Dr. Gear, he's testing his live stream. I think we're doing it through Discord today because we want to take a couple of parasitic streaming platform companies out of the equation and use Discord instead. Not that Discord's that good in terms of business practices, but anyway, what am I doing? Memphis weather. 34 degrees Celsius, 93 degrees Fahrenheit, and 67% humidity. Yeah, that's up there. What is wet bulb temperature at that? Where you just die. Do you guys know about wet bulb temperature? Got to get out and wash the windows while I won't die. Yeah, you got to do all the work before and after the heat, eh? You see me, I got a jumper on. Lyle's favourite song is Walking in Memphis. I don't think it is. Lay off us boomers. Yes, boomers are welcome. It's alright. There's enough of you. If I didn't have boomers here, I'd have no channel. I used to have 2 page per day planner for years. It was very personal, private copy of my daily work reports for the company. I'd neglect the company book and scroll out 3 months really fast. No one from Memphis likes that song, yeah. So the Marshall Dookie amp is currently the flavour of the month. There must be a issue out. Yeah, that's right, Dave. You picked it, buddy. So as soon as the powers that be release some fucking concept amp, everyone's got to have it. Clash proposes and sold out, but Sex Pistols are also sponsored by a clothing store. So so is it really punk? Jello Biafra would probably say no. Yes, he would. Really getting sick of Fender legal commentary by any random dudes. Yeah, it's the only thing I can get hits, man. Everyone's playing the algorithm. Everyone wants attention by just focusing on whatever the current shit is. Fender and D'Addario making AI songs. Why would they do that? It's like against their business model. What the fuck? It's like I can't think of a fucking analogy to that. It's like fucking Pace promoting Pick and Place. I don't know. I can't think of something. I'm sure one of you guys is smarter than me and can think of one, but literally the products they sell have no worth if people are using AI products. What, are they investing in AI horse shit? Fuck, I was about to restock on D'Addario, but I'm not selling their shit if they're doing that. I'll sell fucking Roto Sound instead. I'm thinking about getting Roto Sound. Trying to get away from American products. So Ernie Ball's fucking on thin ice. So I'm thinking about going to Roto Sound for everything. They do have a lot of bass strings. Saw Green Day with Living End. Fuck yeah, Living End shits all over Green Day. Living End is fantastic. I love that band. I was lucky enough to see them back in their heyday. Back at the Home Bake. You guys know about the Home Bake Festival? It's a fucking absolutely awesome festival. 3-hour festival set was brutal. It would have been brutal for them, but they were running around on some fucking drug. I don't know. Probably not. Just pure ADD. But yeah, 3 hour for the crowd must have fucking sucked. It was in the middle. All our festivals are in summer too. That's the other thing we're going to have to change in Australia. As climate change starts to really bite, and don't tell me it's not fucking biting. The whole planet's on fire. As climate change starts to bite, our tradition of summer festivals over here in Australia is going to have to change. We're going to have spring and autumn festivals. I mean, to be honest, winter festivals, because middle of winter here, it's 20 degrees Celsius outside. What's it going to be today? Emu Plains weather. It's going to be maximum of 18 degrees Celsius today, or 17, which is 62 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's in the middle of winter. It's a sauna in Phoenix. I thought Phoenix was dry. Huh. You were just in Phoenix, weren't you, Lyle? Scotty, just saw your comment. I have hand issues that get worse as I age. Doesn't mean I can't play guitar, even if I can't play the level. Thanks for the fucking encouragement. Yeah. Oh, God. You can call me Scotty, if you get upset by being called a knuckle dragger, I can tell you don't have a YouTube channel. You don't view the comments anyway. The shit I get called, fucking hell. You got to get a thicker skin, brother. You're in the music industry. Someone was getting upset because I swore in my last champ video. I said something about a fucking penis. And they got all bent out of shape. They wrote, it's such a shame that you have to be so vulgar in your videos or something like that. And I wrote, yeah, fucking sucks, doesn't it? Or something. That was a joke about your love of metal, which is something you could change. Now, boys, now. You got to get a thicker skin, eh? I mean, I totally was a fucking knuckle dragger when I was going to see metal gigs, like Megadeth and going to grindcore gigs and shit. I had an IQ of about fucking 12 then. No argument for me. 3 hours was no problem at a dead show, yeah. Termastic infill make excellent strings, but they do not last in high humidity. That's Elixir territory, yeah. I've been promoting Elixir a lot in the last 6 years because we've had massive above average rainfall here on the coast anyway, since 2020 when we had a massive drought beforehand. But yeah, EB Cobalt's not even Slinky's 12. Yeah, I've got them installed. Living End, saw them a number of times when I was in Australia. Also saw them in Camden Town, London. Brilliant. Yeah, they're a band not to miss, man. If you see Living End playing in your town, you got to go see them. I said something about a penis. It happens. Brad's got a fuck you sign in the background. Like he gives a shit. Yeah. I just really confuses me when people are like, oh, you swear. It's like, fucking grow up. It's 4 letters. Fuck off. To me, it's a good filter, because generally the only people I've found that have been upset by swear words have been fucking idiots, or just sanctimonious dipshits that I didn't want to hang out with or talk to or even interact with anyway. So it's a good, swearing and being vulgar is a good filter, because it filters out the genuine and the non-genuine people, the people that can think big and think larger concepts, and the people that get stuck down on tiny little details. It's a good filter. I mean, that's why I've got a fucking penis in the background. It's just immature stuff like that. Just it can attract dickheads, but that's what the ban button's for. So yeah, swearing in general isn't an issue. I find the most intelligent people I know swear the most. I damp it down. It's not like I do it in all occasions, but this is like a pub. This is a hangout for you guys. And yeah, you get the workers' rhetoric, because this is where we get shit done, champions. Cuss on, man. Yeah. Listen, I can't put myself in a state of mind of someone that would be upset about that, or even worse, spend their valuable time commenting on a live streamer's comment stream that they don't like it. Like, who gives a fuck what you like? Person I don't even know who is or ever met. It's like commenting on a streamer or a video like that. It's like walking up to someone in the street just apropos of nothing and saying, I don't like your mustache. I don't give a fuck. Mitchell and Webb's Aussie Sweary Show isn't really a parody. Huh? Maybe just a few duds, but I found Elixir can have trouble intonating up. Even had to replace a new plane string recently, new restring, and it's just sounded dead. Where did you get them from, Stunt Kiwi? Where'd you get those strings from, and how much did they cost? Please be honest. Right, what are we going to do now? We're going to dig into this fucking thing. Coated string leave microplastics in your brain. What doesn't? What doesn't, Ted? The biggest source of microplastics is car tires. There we go. Look at that. Got the gut cam. A man with a fuck off neon sign in his workshop is going to tell how it is. You know what? It is. I think it just went 4 years since I bought that sign. Facebook memory popped up the day it turned up, perfectly packed with little bits of foam and stuff in between. I was so excited when that turned up. That sign might hurt someone's feeling, so they'll sue you for boohoo. Don't know. Just idiots on the internet, man. That's what the block and ban's for. But to them, I'm an idiot, so everything's relative. All right, let's get a block under this chucha. I think that little sanding block will be perfect for this. Oh, I've got a Sigma over here. Sigma are good guitars. You probably shouldn't try and make love to one, because that's what happens. Ba-bow. He's done a big job on that one. It's almost all the way down the neck. Can you see the crack there in the light? It's like a radial fracture. A spiral fracture, sorry, not radial. But the headstock's okay. Bit of epoxy in there, should be as good as new. Touch up the lacquer, a bit of stain. I'll get that done. Oh, here we go. 6 is here. The window sills at our old place in Campbelltown, my main road, got covered in so much particulate, tyre dust, carbon, diesel, soot, etc. Yeah, the amount of shit I used to get in a factory where there's a forklift. There's a lot to be said for electric forklifts, champions. The soot and shit that collects on everything, even from an LPG forklift, is just insane. The amount of... Because in a joinery shop, you have the packs of board on pallet racking, and there'll be some board veneer or something you haven't used for years. So you put a bit of 3mm MDF on top to protect it from the light, because timber changes colour with UV exposure. So you've got the clip lock roofs in these factory units that we used to work in, and the light would shine on the racking or whatever, and the top sheet would have all fucked up colours, so you'd have to throw a sheet out to get to the one under it. So we just put 3mm MDF on top to protect the MDF, and sometimes tape it around the edge so it didn't shift. And the amount of soot that you get, black soot that you get on those bits of MDF, is crazy. You're working on a JTM60 right now. I love the interconnects. What a pain in the ass. Well, Dave, I'm just about to do a connection spreadsheet for them, so if you lose what's connected to what, send me an email and I'll send it back to you, champion, before I disconnect everything. And this has got some heater dropper things that I'm going to make a bit nicer. The Maui Sugar Mill in Tarzana, California, they have a neon sign that says "Motherfuckers never loved us." What? There must be a story behind that. Okay, now Seth's talking about something else apropos of nothing. That's not like him. JTM60s always have issues with underrated transformers, easy to replace with a JCM 850-watt one. Okay, this one's currently okay. 7.4 volts on the heaters, champions. 7.4 volts. So the previous tech put in some series droppers. He's got 2 banks of 4 resistors there. 4 in parallel, both in series. Each one is 0.22 ohms. So it worked out to 0.1 ohm, something like that. I actually measured it with the low ohms meter, the Hewlett-Packard 34401A. And it came up at 0.1. So that dropped it down to 6.8 volts. So I've gone to 0.15 ohm, 10 watt chassis mount, which should turn up today. And I'm going to mount that on the chassis down the bottom there. Might have to remove that sticker and mount it there just to get it away from the transformer a bit so it doesn't heat that up too much. And yeah, get a bit of voltage down on those heaters. Dropping heater voltage is a pain in the ass. Any high current circuit is a pain in the ass to drop voltage without excessive heat dissipation. But yeah, so that's one issue with them, and then the dissipation was an issue on this one too. So we've got to trim that down a bit because it's running too hot. So that probably isn't good for the transformer either. The next thing you can do is run a fan. There is DC heaters in this, I believe. So yeah, there's a bridge rack down there. It's got some melted preamp sockets too, which is nice. I'll replace them with ceramics. And maybe mount a little heater, a little 60mm heater on the chassis there, and run that off the DC heater supply. Run it under voltage, so a 12 volt fan running on 6.3, so it's nice and quiet. And that should be enough to keep the thing cool. Used to clean shop windows, the shit we breathe in. Yeah, it's pretty bad down here, but it's more it's probably more like a silica dust issue down here because there's a concrete factory over that way, and then there's a quarry over that way, so everything gets covered in like abrasive dust. So like turntable covers and that on display, you got to be real careful cleaning them, that you don't scratch them, because even just wiping them with a nice clean cloth will scratch them because of the fucking dust on everything. It's fucked. So just constant vacuuming. That's Luke and Michelle's job. That's why it's not done, so it ends up being my job. Getting everything should be ready to go around 12. What happened to 11? You think I'm late? You think I'm late, Lyle? 6 has just put me back to 12 o'clock. This is why I've always wanted to do live streams with 6, but I start live streaming at 6, and he starts at midday. I'm called 6 because it's my legal name. Had it changed when I was 21. Yeah, that's his legal name, 6. 6'7". I'm old Greg. I'm old Greg. Late to the party. How's your health, Brad? Fine. Is there a particular reason you're asking me how my health was? How my health is? I don't know. Is my voice off? Oh, Berlin chair. Do you guys know UMI? Love UMI. I'm teaching Luke about UMI. He likes them now. My trick. There was a set of coloured Sharpies marked each one in a different colour. What, on the cables? Is that what you mean? The markers? On this? I just want to do a spreadsheet just so I don't get mixed up. You can follow the schematic, but it just takes heaps longer. What's the deal with Plexis not playing well with the effects loops? Is it because they get their tone from the power section versus pre? They can play well with effects loops, but only if you have a pre-phase inverter master volume and you put the effects loop after the master volume. Because otherwise they just get smashed with too much level. And if you attenuate the fuck out of the level, then sometimes you don't have enough recovery gain to get the output stage back up to full scale. So Plexis, the sound of Plexis is just fucking high levels all the way through the thing. Everything overdriving all at once. And that's not conducive with an effects loop. That's where things like power stations come into play, but I'm not a fan of them anymore. I used to like them, but I've had a few come in with the same problems over and over again, all from PCB layout. So, and underrated capacitors. Capacitors being consistently run over their voltage rating in the power supply. The main B+ caps too, which is fucking ridiculous. But anyway, how do you get that wrong? You've got a multimeter. You know what the voltages are like. And the caps are available in the same form factor. I know because I replaced them. I ordered 4 for one unit, and then I thought I should have ordered more. And I've only got the one job, and then literally finished that job, and another one walks in the door, another PS100. Like they're 50 watt or 100 watt ones. The 50 watt ones or 60 or whatever they are. they're fine, but when they're trying to pull 100 watts out of 2 valves, the plate voltage is just like 740 volts, 730 volts in standby. No good, because they've only got 700 volts worth of caps on that node, which is ridiculous. But they get their tone from the phaser inverter. That's part of it. Yeah, they've just got high signal throughout the entire amp, and they don't really play well with getting that reined in and then re-amplified afterwards. Morning, Brad. Thanks for coming to my song premiere last weekend. Cool having you there. Yeah, it was a good song. I totally thought you were going to be doing a Cure cover at the start, but I'm sure you got that a lot. Was that a sample that you made, that you got, or you made yourself? The loop. JTM60, I labelled each interconnect to reconnect correctly. Did the diode clipping bypass mod. Diode clipping. Oh, yeah, because it's got diode clipping. So what, you just remove them completely, Dave? How'd that work out for you? And put a heat sink. 6mm aluminium sheet. Put a heat sink on what? What did you heat sink, Dave? High gain guys say fine-tuning heater voltages are important, oddly. Dave just uses DC heaters. No, not for the whole amp though, Scotty, does he? I mean, obviously not for the output valves. There's no advantage to using DC heaters for like the phase inverter or beyond. And there's limited, well, probably... yeah, I didn't confirm. Sorry, Six. I'm just putting shit on you. You're a poo hook. Putting shit on you. Yeah, there's not a lot to be gained from DC heaters for anything other than the first, say, 2 or 4 tubes. Triodes, so the first 1 or 2 valves. How is it possible to have minus 20 volt DC on the grid of a triode? No negative voltage is in the circuit. They say is high frequency oscillation. No, that's space charge. So that is a collection of electrodes pooling around the grid, and that is how they bias grid biased input stages that you find on some older amps. So they put like a 10 meg resistor as the grid leak, and you do end up with negative. It's physics, bro. It's pretty crazy, but it's cool. You've been sounding more like Dave from EEV blogging your videos lately. Yeah, so I had a bit of a sore throat for a while. It's gone away a bit. It's just the cold air in winter. It's not, I haven't actually been sick. It's just been, oh, how you going, you know, like that. And the voice going up a bit as a result. Well, yeah, it's just the cold weather in the mornings. I'd be such a cold bitch if I lived in Chicago or something. I'd die. I fucking hate the cold, man. It's weird because you'd think I'd like a Scottish Highland heritage or something, but I don't know. It's like I'm the only redhead that likes being near the equator. What is this abomination we're looking at? Yeah, that's JTM60. I'm getting to it. You guys keep talking to me. Yeah, you could use the cable, the wire markers and stuff, Seth, but I don't know. I just prefer having a database and not fucking around with little labels and sticking them on and shit. I just like to know what goes to what and just plug it back in. Go to electrical. Oh, hang on. Already read that. In small signal audio design, one of the rules is don't attenuate, then amplify, but that's more about noise performance. Yeah. We don't worry about that. Yeah. Amplifying, attenuating the fuck out of something, then amplifying is a recipe for high noise. See you, Scotty. Take it easy, legend. Stay cool, brother. Stay hydrated. No specific reason, champ. Okay. I sampled the beat from the Cure song. I thought you did. I did an unlisted upload to YouTube and got 0 copyright claim. Oh, okay, so you did a test. Did a little testy. I think I've got a customer champions, even though I'm supposed to be closed. Maybe not. Apologies if you've answered this already, but have you any opinions on buying a Jet City? They're okay. They're good modding platforms. Not the best build quality or component quality, but they are great platforms for experimentation because you can buy them for nothing. You can buy them for like $100, $200. Transformers are fine. Cabinets like chipboard and stuff, but they're pretty solid. I know guys that gig with them every weekend and they're happy. A couple of serviced like 5-6 years ago, still haven't had any issues, like not even valve changes. So that's cool. Brad, you ever played a Tweedledee? What, you mean like an actual Dumble? No, I've never even touched one. No one would let me touch a Dumble. I wouldn't be allowed even near it. I wouldn't even be allowed to look at it. It's like looking at bloody the Deadlights out of Stephen King novels. So you turn into a catatonic mess, pool of neurons apparently. If you just dare look at a fucking Dumble amp, I think they're pretty poorly built amps, to be honest. I've seen a couple of the guts of apparently original Dumble amps, and they're pretty shockingly fucking... I don't know. I'm not impressed. It's just the Emperor's fucking got no clothes, mate. All it takes is some Guitar Hero to pick up the thing, and then it reaches legendary status. But from a text point of view, there's nothing mind-blowing in them. In fact, the physical implementation of the mods leaves a lot to be desired, in my opinion. They're not anywhere near IPC standard soldering regulations or anything like that. They're just... But yeah, they're magic. So unless you bow down to the magician, you're seen as a spoiler of some sort. So I don't really care or have any opinion on them because it's just easier than constantly battling fanboys. Some of those old amps didn't even have grid leak resistor, and some of them even had a little silver oxide or mercury oxide batteries in them. Yeah, the grid will naturally go negative. Physics, yeah. A lot of hi-fi stuff had biasing with little batteries. Pretty crazy to think about, but yeah, it was a thing, and they considered that the lowest noise, lowest distortion way of doing it. So, what book goes into that? I think it's the Hi-Fi Preamp Design book by Merlin Blancow. I've got the hi-fi one as well, which has got a lot more theory than the guitar one. It's actually, even if you don't work on hi-fi stuff, even for guitar stuff, I do suggest getting that one because there's so much gold nuggets in it. But for example, we've got a Hiwatt over here, a DR fucking 103, and there's stuff in that layout wise that I think's silly too. But everyone just jerks off over fucking gut shots of those because everything's bent at right angles, and for some fucking reason guitarists just lose their shit when wires are bent at right angles. It just blows their mind. I don't know if it's because the guitar leads are always just coiled on the ground. When they actually see a hard 90-degree turn in cable, it just blows their mind because they're so used to just guitar cables. But guitarists just lose their shit when shit's bent at a right angle. I'll never fucking understand that, because from a service point of view, it's a fucking nightmare. You want what they call service loops, so slight slack in the wire, so when you rework it, you can cut off 1/4 inch and then re-strip it and have a brand new connection. But anyway, guitarists like what they like. 6mm aluminium sheet combined with aluminium shielding tape on chassis to help with the heat rising instead of installing a fan. So do you block off the vents? Because it is silly having vents that go to nowhere except for the inside the cab. Like, you'd actually get better airflow if that was just blocked off. Well-meaning to have a vent there, but without a vent in the top of the cabinet, which there isn't, you're just forcing hot air into the cabinet, into the chassis. So Brad, the electrons fly off the end of a sharp turn. You know what? That's actually true, Kevin, but not at the frequencies we play with in a guitar amp. Yeah, you've probably seen the rounded traces and stuff that they use in really high frequency stuff, because each sharp corner in a RF circuit acts like a little antenna and throws off a fucking little wavefront from it. People that did not play a double: Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, Robin Trower, Jeff Beck, Billy Gibbons, Lyle Caldwell. I think Lyle has played a double, actually, so you might be wrong on that last one. 4 amps to do a quickie cartoon schematic drawing. That's how I did my first amp repair on your mum's Supro 1624T. Colour of the wire and where it went, no location shown, equal ground speeds it up some. That's big brain stuff. Yeah, that's above my pay grade, that's for fucking sure. So yeah, just an example over here. Oh, it's beautiful! Okay. I mean, you know, it's serviceable, but what happens if a previous tech's unsoldered and resoldered that wire and melted the insulation in the process and now it looks like dog shit? Well, you got no slack left, so you got to replace the entire wire, and it goes down, goes into a loom, goes under shit, turns fucking, you know. So from a service point of view, not as fun. If you're super careful, you can get out of doing that stuff. If you're just really quick with the heat, give it time to cool down before you rework it again. But as you see from the solder splashes on the back panel, previous tech wasn't that careful. And we've got some pretty shitty soldering in there, if you look close. So around this area, you've got some pretty munchy solder connections. And that black paint that's on shit that turns to smoke, it's fucking horrible. It smells disgusting. So this is just in for a general service. Look, those caps, well past their use by date, but they're still currently performing okay, so I think we're going to make the decision to leave them in if it's not being used for a touring amp, because you can replace them if anything goes wrong, and there's no sign of venting as of yet. People get a bit twitchy about changing out the caps in an old Hiwatt or very old Marshalls, where they are fucking reliable caps, but they don't last forever. Two wrongs don't make a right, but three lefts make a circle. What? Three lefts make a right? So yeah, things like the these are seen as the pinnacle of amp design, right? But then you've got, and it's not currently causing any problems, but see the little bridge here. You've got downward pressure on that wire there, and you can see that tag or that turret strips buckled upwards under a fair bit of load. And you can see it's looks like it's suffered some overheating in this area. I don't know if something's failed here in the past, and it looks like the original parts, but although this resistor's been replaced and so is this one, that's in the bias supply. And you got one of those generic silver mica caps down here that's aftermarket, because there's no witness ink. Let's call it witness ink. There's no witness ink on those turrets. So that 100 pico has been changed. Everything in the preamp looks original. And from memory, the main issue is just scratchy pots and stuff. So we'll just check for any DC leakage. These mustards are actually in pretty good condition visually. Oh, God damn it! There goes my little probe. Flush over on the underside. No, that's just that ink, man. I can see it's actually, it's got a black dot there that you probably thought was that, but it looks like they've all got like black. I don't know what weirdo goes around putting texture on all the leads, but all the leads have that blue marker on them. I can't remember. I don't know if that's from the factory or not, but all the leads all the way up have that blue marker, and that has a bit of marker on the end as well. Looks like they used black at one point. But there's no flash over. Good eyes on you though. There's just some shit soldering on that, due to the previous tech changing that one resistor. And this resistor down here, I can't remember what that's for, but it's got black texture on it to ink out the value for some fucking reason. Don't know why. But that's burned off as well. No, the value would be on this side, so the value's burned off long ago. So it must get pretty hot. I'll have to see what's going on with that. So yeah, I'll familiarise myself with that amp later on. But I just got to do a quick quote for that one. For this one, I'm just getting it apart, so when those parts turn up, I can just go for it and finish her off. I'm not doing a video on this one. I don't want to draw attention to the fact I'm working on JTM 60. But right now, I think I need to pee, so I'll be back. Question for any of you real techs, I'm a poser. Do you guys use color codes that aren't really the color they say they are, or do you just check the resistance with your meter? Not sure what you mean, Goody Guitars. Do you guys use the color codes that aren't really the color they say they are? That aren't really the color that... What do you mean? I've never seen something that's had intentionally wrong color codes on a new resistor. You get them, they drift and stuff, but... yeah, I read them, and sometimes if I'm assembling something, I'll double check just to avoid being an idiot, or I'll check everything passively once it's built. Old high watts only have quasi-military grade lead dress. Yeah, a lot of people get this military grade bullshit. Saw this amplifier manufacturer bragging that he wraps his leads around 360 degrees around his turrets, like it's a point that, you know, it's like, fuck, I'm so good, I wrap them around 360 degrees. It's like, well, you just violated the IPC soldering standards of how to use a turret, and then you publicise that. 270 degrees max. Plus, why are you wrapping component leads around a turret? They should be going to the top of the turret so you can replace them easily. No one knows how to use turrets. I've never used silver mic on my hobby builds. Is it actually worth doing? Fuck no. Silver micers are to be avoided if you can avoid them. They're a pain in the ass. They're delicate. They're temperature sensitive. And they just like to go short circuit even when you do baby them for no reason. There are good quality ones to get, but if you have to. But they're fucking expensive, like 10, 12 bucks a cap. Just use ceramic, good quality ceramic. Get to know the difference between the insulators in ceramic caps, because they have a different thermal coefficient. Learn about thermal coefficients, because otherwise your cap will be a completely different value at different temperatures. I airbrushed the wrong band patterns on to avoid cloning. There's probably fuckers that do that, but honestly, God, got better things to do than that. Anyone that's trying to protect their IP around an amp in this day and age, in 2026, you're a fucking clown. Everything's been done before. You're not a genius. You're just trying to protect the fact that you've cloned something else and called it your own. But yeah, I know Ted's joking. Ted wouldn't be doing that. 360 degrees wrong. Yeah, even Howard Sams had a nice book on proper wiring and soldering with turrets. Yeah, it's just, it's like the more you get a lead, you wrap it around 500 times. Oh, it's military grade. It's like, no, you're full of shit. You don't even know what you're talking about. You don't know what military grade is. Military grade's meant to be just good enough to hold together and also easy to remove. Field repairs are important. So military grade's more about ease of replacing parts than it is making sure it'll withstand a bomb that will destroy the rest of the fucking assembly anyway. I thought I had my IPC soldering handbook here. Maybe I don't. Might be at home. Anyway, we've gone over that before on live stream. I'll do a video on it one day, but I can't violate the copyright of it because it is copyright material. You have to buy your own for $1,500. 50-page booklet for $100, $200. Laughing, imagining epoxy dipping an entire basement, yeah. And then it won't dissipate any heat. I love when companies talk around what they've done, like Orange talking about their attenuator on their Rockaverse, but it's just, yeah, PPIMV, yeah, they call it an attenuator. That was very confusing when I was a younger guitarist. Like, it's got an attenuator, because I knew some amps did have attenuators built in, but then I looked at it and it's not really an attenuator, but then even a volume control is technically an attenuator, so I don't know, it's a bit of a grey area. On that note, back in a minute. Champions. Goody guitar, $10. Thanks, mate, for cancer research. Oh, thank you. I'll have to donate that now, though, and YouTube will take out their little percentage. Oh yeah, if you guys want, we're on the home stretch, legends. It's fucking Monday, so that's 27 days of not having a single beer. Fuck, especially in this day and age. Need to take the edge off a bit, especially if you read the fucking news. So we've got till Saturday to, well, you can keep donating for all of August. They don't cut it off as of, you know, the 1st of August. But 1st of August, I'm going out with the boys. We're going to knock off at midday. Michelle's going to take over the shop for the rest of the day. Only open until 2 o'clock on a Saturday. And I'm going to piss off into the city and go to Marrickville, and we're going to go for beers. So if anyone's in the Marrickville area and you want to see me drunk, come out, champions. Right, July. But if you want to support it, just chuck a couple of bucks in the hat. Only if you can afford it, champions. Don't do it if you're living off 2-minute noodles and cups of tea. But yeah, if you want to donate a couple of bucks in there, 30% is what YouTube takes. Damn. So yeah, that sucks. Yeah, there's the link if you want to throw a couple of bucks in the hat. Tektronix had some guy with a laser engraver who was copying Gibson's different serial number fonts. Why? I have no idea. Yeah, this is something that can get you a criminal record. Yeah. What brand toilet seat do you recommend? I recommend like the resin ones. The PVC ones suck. You want one that's got like a really opaque plastic because you know it's reasonable quality, and it's got a real gloss to it, so you know that it's going to be relatively antibacterial. I like the soft closing toilets, partially because Michelle's got one at work, so when she comes home she forgets that it's not soft closing and she fucking bang slams the toilet and wakes me up middle of the night. And yeah, so I recommend the soft closers, but more importantly, it's important not to use undiluted bleach on a plastic toilet seat because it can make the plastic decompose and go yellow. It also makes the outer layer of the plastic form like a chalky, it degrades the plastic, makes it break down on the surface, and then it goes, you've probably seen toilet seats where it's gone all weird and the plastic's gone all dry and chalky. So yeah, I recommend probably Fowler, I think's a good brand. I know that because my mate is a Fowler. That's his last name. Chicken Man. Yeah, YouTube take 30%. Yeah, fucking oath. That's why everyone's been telling me to start a Patreon, but it's just another platform to manufacture a Patreon, take a bit less. Send me a check in the post. Everyone takes a cut, champions. No one actually does any work anymore. That's end stage capitalism, rent seeking. It's just everyone's just takes a cut of everything. So you fucking the card machine here takes a cut. The fucking transaction companies take a cut. PayPal takes a cut. Everyone takes a cut. Yeah. Twitch and Amazon. Twitch takes 50%. Fuck Twitch. And there's people that still make it rich doing it. Fuck. I thought the chalk on the toilet seat was someone's leftover chop and snorted it. How'd that go for you, Greg? Pretty well if you're here. JTM60, also the rectifier needs an upgrade, lift it off the board because they heat the board, get toasty underneath. The serial FX loop needs a patch lead in it because they just sound better. Yeah, probably. Yeah, when I remove the board, I'll see all the fucking the burning and shit. They've got their crazy heavy duty ground lift circuit on it. The rectos, there's no heat there for the HT rectos, but yeah, they could be helped by lifting it off the board. I'm assuming it's got a voltage doubler, bridge rectifier. But yeah, the sockets are melty. Oh, you know what I did, champions? Fuck. Just did a
AC30 limited edition 30th anniversary, and as you know, all the sockets on that are dog shit. Worst sockets ever. The legs were like made out of foil, and they just break under just the normal vibration of the amp. So I replaced them all, but I had some in a bag, and I thought they were the Ruby style ceramics, and I'm soldering away, and then I realised, hang on, these are plastic. I think I got them from a bulk, like a surplus order years ago, and they ended up mixed in with my proper valve, so I'd already soldered them all in those delicate ass boards. So I had to carefully desolder them all and throw them all in a fucking bin and put proper ceramic ones, the Ruby style ones, in there, because they're the only ones that sit at the right height, and that the leg spacing's too close together to use Beltons. You end up really stressing the Beltons and getting them, looks like a fucking one of those, it just doesn't look right. Anyway, little by little, the pimps are taking over the world. Yeah, they're just relentless, eh? They don't do anything. They don't make anything. They just sit there and take their cut. Yeah. I mean, I'm as fucking left as it gets, man. I want the power of everything back in the workers' hands. Fuck these corporate rent-seeking pricks. People have taken issue with me at that, but alright, we'll see where it leads then, because we're going there. It's sort of the train's running off the tracks now, so we're already starting to see the cracks in it and that it doesn't work. Looked at the donation link, but all the donations were really high, and I felt embarrassed that I couldn't afford that much. If you can't afford that much Goody Guitars, don't give anything, dude. You've already given me $10. Don't worry about it. It's done. Don't drive, take a cab. Huh? Sitting here programming and listening, just named a variable Amazon by mistake. What are you programming, Kevin? What are you making, buddy? That's interesting. I just had an argument with a prominent amp builder that you guys are well aware of, about using AI to code. I think it's fucked, and everyone else seems to think it's good. And Six and I have been discussing, what do you call it when people get impressed and delusional about their own ability because they're using AI to fill their knowledge gaps while not learning anything? So I've been trying to come up with terms, and Six came up with the term stolen intellectual valor for people who lean on AI for everything. And I think that's a really good one. I think he sums it up really well. I was trying to express how obnoxious and how precocious, I guess it is. You got these people that don't know anything, that are walking around like they're geniuses because they're vibe coding with fucking Claude, making inefficient shitbox code, and not learning anything in the process. And if anything goes wrong, they're going to be like, oh, how do you fix it? Oh, Claude, can you fix the fucked code that you wrote? No, of course it can't. It just ripped off segments of other people's code and just sticky taped them all together to make something that only just works. It's never going to get better. People don't understand that AI needs constant training. So it needs constant input. And when it floods the whole ecosystem with its own trash, the input becomes its trash. Because that's all it's got to fucking derive from now. So as time goes on, the quality output of AI is only going to get worse and worse. It's like a mathematical certainty. But it's all right. Meanwhile, us Luddites will be still learning shit, and we'll be the ones that have to fix it all. So yeah, that's fun. So here's to the Luddites. It's funny, eh? People will call you a Luddite because you code like the way it's always been done. It's you're called a Luddite because you're actually knowledgeable in a subject, in a technical field. How reverse think is that? It's so stupid. AI pseudo-intellectualism. Well, yeah, pseudo-intellectualism is what led to the AI boom or bubble. Fuck AI, give me a stack of good technical books. Yeah, fucking for free, please. Yeah, well, soon you won't need them. Soon you won't need to pay for technical books. They'll be giving them away free or burning them, because everyone's got ADD and ADHD and won't know how to read a fucking book because everyone expects instant gratification every time they want to do a project. No, you can't learn something. It's got to just be instant. And I'm starting to get that on internet forums where people are like, my amp's buzzing, fix it for me now. And you're like, hang on, do you think you're typing on ChatGPT or do you think you're typing to a bunch of humans in a group on Facebook or whatever? Like, no, we won't fucking fix it for you now. You should know already what's wrong. You should have a detailed question that maybe we can share you some experience with. But no, we're not just a fix-it channel for you to fucking get an instant answer on. And then they get upset. They're like, oh, you're gatekeeping. Okay. That'd be like me taking my car to the mechanic and saying, what's wrong with my car? You'd be like, I don't know. What's it doing? It's rattling or it's making a funny noise. Tell me what's wrong with it. And you're like, I don't fucking know. I've got to diagnose it. Oh, you're gatekeeping. No, you're just a fucking idiot. Go away. Brazilian rosewood toilet seat champ, Colombian polish. I would advise against using any timber for a toilet, partially because it reminds me of the 70s. And I've seen a lot of ones that are really gross and the lacquer's starting to go on them. I wouldn't use timber for anything in a bathroom where it's going to be exposed to moisture or poo. Or wee, or vomit, or various other bodily fluids. Regarding the stolen intellectual valor, I think you need grandiose in there as well. Yeah, it's just when you're trying to express to a fuckwit where they're going wrong, you need to keep that word count down, Paul, because they literally, the people that use AI, have like a 3-word limit. If you can't sum up a term in like 3 words, if you can't sum up a concept, their eyes just gloss over and they start, talking in tongues. Particularly horrified by people using AI just to reinforce their own beliefs. Yeah, you've seen the dipshit right-wing podcasters doing that? Like, they'll have someone like Sam Cedar on, and they're just quickly they're quickly, well, these days Google's AI anyway, they're quickly using an LLM to research the stuff that he's saying to try and debunk it. And when they realise that, oh, he's actually saying something that not even the LLM will contradict, then they just trip up. It's so funny to watch. I almost feel like podcasts these days should show a full body shot, not just a close cam in someone's face, because they're constantly doing this, trying to refute stuff while they're talking to people. I was watching Yari, the YouTube channel. They were saying, hey, you never really reach your goals. It's all about the challenge. Exactly, Greg. It's the journey, man. It sounds cliche, but it totally is. It's the journey. It's the stuff you learn about yourself and about the subject along the way to what you're actually aiming to, like your final goal. It's totally. It sounds like you're on the ball, Greg. You know what we're talking about. A lot of people on this channel know what we're talking about. They get it. It's not really a channel for people to go to reinforce their prejudices. This one, hate to tell you, AI psychosis. Yeah, that's a different thing, Kevin. That's people like thinking they're in love with chatbots and shit. That's like almost like you got to go to an intensive deprogramming camp after that one. I don't see how you come back from that one without a lot of work. Working on this MIDI stuff, I realise how little I actually know about MIDI. I can see the notes on my scope on the instrument, but have no research as how to test the output. Yeah, but you have to research how to test the output. Yeah, so what you probably need there is a logic analyzer, Thomas. I haven't worked with MIDI to that level, to be honest, either. But there could also be apps to just dump the data, like in real time. It's a bit hard because MIDI's been around for so long, so there's so much documentation out there on it. But often you probably find you'll learn the most off some ancient book. Excuse me. Just on the protocol itself, like not long after it came out, because then you'll get to the basics, the meat and potatoes of it. And there's a lot of different versions of MIDI, and some of it's over a USB now, so there's a lot of changes to the protocol. But essentially, I believe that the basic protocol is still the same. But yeah, you might need yourself a logic analyzer for that one, brother. Those MSOs from Rigol probably fit the bill. But like I say, something like a Lavalier, whatever it's called, could probably get you there as well, just using USB, because it's all low voltage stuff. Sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice again, champions. I don't talk too much. I don't talk much during the day other than live streaming. AI companies actually buying up millions of textbooks, scanning, then destroying. Really? Fuck. They want to own everything, including even the fucking physical books out there. That, to me, that there needs to be, that's crimes against humanity. That's beyond, like, that's beyond treason. That's like crimes against humanity. Destroying information just so you can sell it back to us. MIDI is great as it was designed for forward compatibility, and being so streamlined, 1.1 has done it all the way until 2.0 was finally released in the last few years. It is amazing how close to the mark they got on MIDI 1.1A. That goes to show efficiency and careful design. Could you imagine someone designing MIDI in this day and age? Something that would last and work beautifully and create so much art for what, 40, 50 years? How long's it been around now? 50 years plus? To be at that version for that long, you don't get that from, you're not going to get anything to that degree from fucking AI, I tell you that much. Anyway, quick side note. Coming to the end of dry July, I saw a pretty good deal on Talisker 11 from Whiskey Mofo. Not sponsored. This was like $100, something. $110. 1982. So it's 2 years older than me. Talisker 11-year-old. And for 100, I think it was $120 including shipping. 55.1%. So cask strength. Lovely Talisker. Special release 2022. So keen as to give that a run once the dry July is done. You can see it's still sealed, champions. Is that a Man of War? I think it's a box jellyfish of some sort. Lightly peated stocks, lightly peated from ex-bourbon casks. So we'll see what that's like. I love a Talisker. Talisker 10's great. It's very smoky and salty. But yeah, very interested to try that. It wasn't packed very well, and Whiskey Mofo has now automatically signed me up to Vino Mofo, which is wine, and I couldn't give a fuck about it, so I didn't like that. I had to unsubscribe. I don't like it when they automatically sign you up to their sister companies. Kind of presumptuous. Man of War is a jellyfish. Man of War, you might think of the Portuguese Man of War, which isn't a single organism. It's a symbiotic alien-like relationship between 4 different organisms. Seriously, if you don't think aliens exist, just look into the Portuguese Man of War, otherwise known as the Blue Bottle. Artisanal paint thinner. Yeah, whatever, Ted. Talisker, the yardstick of decent whiskey. Cask strength must be sweet as. Yeah, I haven't had yeah, Blue Bottle's a Portuguese Man of War. Lagavulin, an 8-year-old, is a good one. Yeah, the 16's my favourite. The 8's pretty fucking good. I prefer the 16, but the 8 is actually a bit more spry, a bit more peppery, a bit more lively. A bit like the Wee Beastie as opposed to the 10-year-old. Wee Beastie, the 5-year-old's a bit young. Well, you know, depends who you're asking. GOP. But yeah, the Wee Beastie is a bit too raw for me. You can, you know, it's a bit granular, a little bit in your face. The 10-year-old Ardbeg's my favourite. That's one of my favourite whiskies in the world. Very light colour, non-coloured, not chill filtered. It's the real deal. And often the colouring is a bit of a misdirection to the fact that it's not the most well-developed whiskey. They just colour it instead. So if it's non-chill filtered, you can have an almost clear whiskey that is intense. Blows your head off. Miss when the 16 was more affordable. Well, it's actually come down a little bit recently. It got ridiculous. It got to like $280 a bottle. Fucking first bottle I bought of it was like $85. I was like, holy shit, I'm onto a winner here. And then it went to 120, then 150, then 160, then 200, then 200. It peaked at 230 Australian, and now it's back down to around the 150, 160 mark. I guess they stopped selling as much, or maybe they had shortages. Maybe that was why they jacked it up. Just control the demand. 110 proof is cask strength. Yeah, that's 55%. They quit selling Everclear, Golden Grain, and all the old fortified wines in the USA. Everclear is good for cleaning the heads on reel-to-reel tape decks and removing flux. Yeah, it's just ethanol, isn't it? It's like 70% ethanol. That's what the band was named after, because they get fucking blind off that shit. Getting you make out of the distilleries is a mission, but it's fun to try. Whereabouts are you, Greg? Are you near any Australian distilleries? Sounds like you're into them. Lagavulin 16 is bloody lovely. If you came across the Kleinish 14 is a wonderful space side, almost a sea salt on the aftertaste. I'll have to try that out, Paul, because that's right up my alley. That's why I like the Talisker, because it's got a sea salt to it. It depends which side of the island they're on. If they've got the onshore winds all the time, the salt finds its way through the salt spray into the malting floors, and you do get that saltiness and that brininess to it. You're fun to me lobster, ain't you? You guys seen The Lighthouse? That's a fucking intense movie, I tell you what. I watched it when Michelle was away for work, I think, and it was pitch black in the house, and I had a whiskey because it was a whiskey type watching movie, and I was watching it pitch black, and yeah, sort of an out of body experience watching that movie by yourself in a dark house. Exeter, UK. Ah, right. I need a trip to Isla. Yeah, I'd love to go there. Me and my mates are thinking about doing a motorcycle tour in Scotland one day. It's a big goal we'd love to do. Winslow. Yep, the singles over 12 years are getting fucking ridiculous. Yeah. So there's some well-priced ones in Australia. Some non-age statement though. I don't know if that's it used to be a bit of a no deal for me if it wasn't a age statement, but these days I'm a bit more open-minded. If it's good whiskey, it's a good whiskey. Just see if you can try it out before committing. But Archie Rose has got some really good stuff. A good cheap single malt, or single grain I should say, is Nika, which is available in Australia. I don't know if it's available anywhere else in that particular setup, but Nika coffee grain and coffee something else. When I say coffee, I'm not talking like coffee beans. That's the COFFEY. It's the name of the bloke who designed that distillation method. But you can get them for like $80 or something at Booze Bunnings, I call it. Dan Murphy's. And it's really good. Amazing roads up there. My old man's got some Vincents, really. Shit, I've been watching a lot of Vincent. What's the big twin? Vincent. For some reason in my YouTube feed, it all of a sudden started showing me live Vincent riding videos, and fuck, they sound great. Cafefe. Do you remember when we thought that was like, that was like his last descent? Like no one will take him seriously after this, but Everclear and Golden Grain were more like 97.5. 100% ethanol is gaseous ether. Really? Everclear numbed your face in preparation for impact with your car's steering wheel and no dashboard. Black Shadow, was that it? Yeah. Vincent's, man, that twin. Fuck, it sounds good. Sounds a little bit like an agricultural bit of equipment, but in a good way, if you know what I mean. Must be hard to keep them up and running though, with you'd have to do some serious engineering to keep those things reliable. Anyway, what are we doing? I'm just getting absorbed in the chat, champions. You're too engaging. You must get that a lot. All right, so let's lay out Black Shadow. Yeah. What's the date? 27th of the 7th. See my shit handwriting. So, we want front board. Valve board. My hands are too cold to write. Is that Epicure? I think Epicure are getting back together. Kickstarting them himself. Yeah, I reckon it would be. A couple of broken shins. He's got a couple of Comet singles. Nice. Big bangers. A Rapide V-twin and now a Black Shadow. Heard it today. Fucking beast. Excellent Aussie engineering. Hang on. Are Vincent Aussie? They were, weren't they? I should know this. Vincent Black Shadow. No, it's British. Oh, hang on. Are you talking about a different bike? I thought we were talking about Vincent still. Yeah, the Vincent Black Shadow is the world's first superbike. 55 horsepower. My wife's bike's got that. Top speed 125 mile per hour. 227 kilos. There you go. Black Shadow is the oil stain on the garage floor. Yeah, but you know, it's worth it. Rear. Oh, I can't even write, man. My hand's frozen. Alright, so I've got 3 columns. What connects to what? Alright, so let's start from the start. Front PCB, CN1. Goes to mid PCB, CN101. Oh, is it just simple like that? Because if so, I probably don't even need to write it. Hang on. CN101. That's a good way of doing it. CN2. CN2 goes to CN102. Okay, if it's just like that, I'll double check it, but if it's just like that for the whole board, we probably don't even need a chart. W1, Y1 goes to Y10, 110. Y2 goes to Y101. Okay, so that is getting a bit funky. Oh, Phil Irving, yeah. That was, what did he do again? Was he the, started with a B? Bros Superior. No, there was another one I'm thinking of. Aussie Superbike. Started with a B. Aussie Superbike. It was an absolute fucking beast. Britain. Aussie Britten. Britain V1000. Let me just go over to this one. Wikipedia article. Yay! Desk chair. Britain V1000. Oh, New Zealand. Sorry, but New Zealanders have got to understand us Aussies claim everything good that you do. The Britain V1000 is a hand-built race motorcycle designed and built by John Britton and group of friends in Christchurch, New Zealand in the early 1990s. I believe he just passed away and that's why it came to the top of the news again. Yeah, I know. He died in 95. What am I thinking of? Someone else in the team? Bike was designed from first principles. It's the way you New Zealanders did it, all the way back to Burt Munro, and hosts a number of innovations, including extensive use of carbon fibre, the radiator located under the seat, double wishbone front suspension, frameless chassis, and engine data logging. Pretty advanced. 166 horsepower. 138 kilograms. Fucking hell. That's light. That is so light. And it's a 1000cc water-cooled 60-degree V-twin, quad cam 4-stroke, and it weighs 138 kilos, and it's got 166 horsepower. Insane. What a wild machine. Have a go at it. It's got the radiator under the seat. Scroll, scroll. Yep. Look at that header. What the fuck even is that? It's got the shock on the steering there because it's a race bike. It's got the steepest steering angle known to man. Tiny little rear brake because there's not much good to you. Only got 4 piston fronts, but dual disc. They only look like they're 320mm or something, maybe smaller. Yeah, bit of a beast. It was in all the magazines around here for years. Legendary bike. Really? Conspiracy theory that Churchill had Lawrence killed over his support for Arabs and criticism of the officer life in the forces. Don't know. I'm unaware of that. Bruff. Oh, okay. Pronounced Bruff. T. Lawrence. Yeah, okay. It's a hugger. Yeah. Makes a BMW mono lever look simple. Yeah. Yeah, the Britain's crazy. Like Aussies, the New Zealanders, like, they're very similar in their attitudes and stuff to Australians. The way we talk, pretty similar. I see us both as one country, to be honest. We've got our differences, but not very big ones. I consider Australia New Zealand. I consider New Zealand Australia. CN108. Can't read that one. Need a mirror. CN4. CN5 goes to CN108. I just wrote that. Hang on. Have we got... Oh, that's 106. Sorry, the connector's over the silk screen. CN106. Let's just write that again. East Australia. Let's get my little mirror. CN107. CN6 goes to rear. CN203. CN203. Like China and Taiwan. Not quite. I'm not sure where I stand on the whole Taiwan-China thing. I haven't looked deep enough into it. I'll do so shortly, but I'd like to see Taiwan remain its own sovereign country, but I don't think that they're going to get defended by anyone. USA. CN110. I wish that we didn't just have a natural sort of progression towards World War happening at the moment. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, I know I don't ask for much, like, because generally the public don't want that, so it'd be nice if the leaders actually reflected what the public wanted, but it's never been that way. CN206. Taiwan is its own nation, that's it. Yeah, I mean that's what I believe. But I'm talking about the realistic scenario that something's going to happen, like, and then trying to think of the least damaging solution should something happen. I don't know. Thinking about like future scenarios, you know what I mean? Know what I mean? CN202, CN202. Aussies and Kiwis were disrespected by Brits, cannon fodder, hence the Anzac spirit binds us, except when it comes to rugby, then it's feudal between brothers. Yeah. You never get in the middle of two fighting brothers. But the next day, they hug it out. It's fine. CN12 goes to CN105. CN105. We Brits were dissatisfied with disrespecting the rest of the world and ended up disrespecting ourselves for shits and gigs. It seems like that's the way it went, didn't it? Fuck it. Oh, sorry, my throat's getting sore again. I just can't talk for long periods. It's probably for the best. Alright, now we've maxed out all the connections on the front. Let's move on to the middle, between the middle and the rear. CN105, we worked our way up to, so CN109, CN109 goes to the rear, can't tell. Oh yeah, CN204, CN204. And everything else is soldered. Oh, W4 goes to W119. What amp is this middle pickup? It is a JTM 60 combo, 3x10. Alright, the middle one, W102, goes to the transformer CT, center tap. Brown wire, OT, CT. W112, red, OT, and then white, OT, goes to, might need a torch for this, no, W113. Cool, I've wondered how the amp sounds. Not great, to be honest. Could do with improvement, but yeah, I really hope. I don't see any way they're going to back off on Cuba, Seth. It's all so senseless. It's just there's no justification for anything, and these are beautiful countries full of beautiful people, and they're just getting punished for nothing. It's insane. It's just so disheartening. And everyone wakes up and just gets on with their life and doesn't pay any attention to it. But I don't know. It's always sitting in my mind thinking about it. You know, maybe that makes me crazy, but knowing that people are suffering for no fucking reason at all, it's just I've already done that one. Just heartbreaking, man. Beautiful people, beautiful culture, and just trying to live their life, and they're getting all their electricity cut off and all their imports embargoed for no reason, and all just using bullshit justification, which is all just lies and horse shit. And I don't think any of that's controversial, man. And if it is, you've got ulterior motives that you're not being honest about. Metaphorically, it's about power and control. Who has the money and biggest army until someone small and intelligent with intestinal fortitude comes along and puts them in their place? Well, my biggest hope is that will come from inside the USA. Eventually, these people will just lose their power. But they're trying to make sure that the public opinion doesn't matter. Everything they're doing at the moment is to make the public less and less informed is the first step, which we're already finished with. And now they're making it so it doesn't matter if the public's informed, because they will have no power. Hence all the flock cams and shit like that. So they're just trying to make it that your opinion, the general opinion of the public doesn't matter. And you won't have any power regardless of what your position is. So, but the idiots that were prejudiced, and this is all because of, like, I don't know, trans people in sport, or fucking some black person being in a movie or some shit, all a culture war bullshit that everyone fucking fell for, and all these fucking idiots still talking about. It's just all for nothing. It's just getting your rights taken away every day, all because you've got some silly petty little prejudice. I don't know, it's insane. Windows clean in your shower, dirty job's done. Good shit, Scotty. You got the rest of the day off, buddy? You gonna chill out? Let's not talk about Palantir. Well, yeah. Yeah, that's one of them, champion. Making sure that no uprisings can happen, so then they can fuck us as hard as they want, because they'll know when you're trying to organise and get a collective together, because they can watch all your fucking analytics and know who's hanging out with who and who's doing what, so resistance won't be an option. That's why it's all happening, and people are actually fucking cheering this on. It's insane. Gonna play some Skyrim. Fuck yeah. Do you ever live stream that shit, Scotty? I could go for just a dumb sitting here listening to someone gaming afternoon. As James May once said, all the worries of the world melt away when you focus on the head of a screw. Yeah, but then it comes back afterwards, you know. He is right there. I mean, I know he's a genuine enthusiast. He's not just doing it for the fame. He's the real deal, the old James May. But even like, yeah, Top Gear, like they fell for the whole culture war shit with the fucking old mate. What's his name? Jeremy fucking whatever. James May's a legend. You live stream Tale of Two Wastelands Fallout, which is something I made and worked on for 10 years. What? You made your own game, Scotty? Is that what you're telling me? We set everything up and had the resistance ready back in 61, then we totally fucked them over, didn't follow through. The guerrillas were getting killed on the beach waiting for the USA. Is this Bay of Pigs? I don't. It's before my time. I don't know enough about it. I've got to start researching that shit. Fuck Palantir and Oracle. Well, see, they know they're not a viable business. Jeremy, Argentina Clarkson. They know they're not a viable business. They know they're not turning a profit, not giving any decent returns. So what they're trying to do is entrench themselves into the government so deeply that it doesn't matter if they're a viable business or not. They'll still continue to exist. So this is like a virus, like going into, like, I don't know, trying to think of an analogy, but oh, there we go. Scotty and Six, forming a little, you know, little mutual interest champions. We're all nerds here. What was I saying? Yeah, so Palantir and that, they know they don't have a sustainable business, so they're trying to make sure that they will have constant money source regardless. And that's what we're seeing. As we're realizing these companies will collapse because they're not sustainable, they're trying to legally entrench themselves into existence forever, no matter what. So you're seeing things like getting who's the most unaccountable government agency in the world is the Pentagon. They've failed every audit that's ever existed. They don't have to tell anyone how they spend their money at all, and everyone tuts them when they can't pass an audit, but then they just get more funding the next year. So everyone's realizing the only way to infinite growth in a dying economy is just leeching the money out of agencies like the Pentagon. So they're all trying their hardest to get like entrenched in the government so deeply that they will have infinite funding no matter what. Doom 2 WOD's deathmatch co-op, anyone? Man, I would love to get back into that shit, but I don't even know where to start doing a deathmatch with Doom 2 now. I used to play Doom fucking every day. Oligarchy doesn't have to turn a profit. They need to increase shareholder returns, or shareholder value, sorry, I should say value. It can be speculative as well. As a fiduciary responsibility, so they legally have to give returns in some form or another to their shareholders. So basically, all the numbers are just horse shit. He did a photography job in Cuba back in the 80s using an Iroquois passport. We took photos of jazz musicians from the 50s and old narrow gauge sugarcane railroad equipment. Super great people. Everyone I know that's been to Cuba says it's some of the most beautiful people in the world. So welcoming and friendly, even with as little as they have. Adversity tends to do that to people. They become very humanist. Man, all I play is Doom and Quake. Maybe some Unreal every now and then. And some silly shit like Rise of the Triad. Dog's Life, PS2, trust me, cunts. Alright, I'll look into it, but I don't have a PS2 though. Did they ever release the PS5, or are we still waiting for that? I've never had a console, so I don't know. I just know everyone was complaining about the PS5 taking so long to release. Alrighty then. It's funny, I talk about this stuff, and I used to cop a lot of shit from commenters just saying anything vaguely not fascist. Like, oh, you're a communist, blah, 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 blah. But seeing all the other channels that were really pushing the fascist bullshit for the last 10 years, even the guitar channels, the lunatics, fucking pro MAGA, everything. Look how much we're winning, blah, blah, blah. Too much winning. Is this enough winning? Blah, blah, blah. They've gone very fucking quiet recently, haven't they? Even they know it's fucked at this point. And this is shit we could have seen from fucking 10 kilometres away. I've been talking about this shit since 2016. And everyone's like, oh, you're overreacting, you're overreacting. It's like, yeah, well, you know. They're like, oh, who could have seen this coming? Well, me, 10 years ago. Like anyone 10 years ago could have seen it. Anyone who wasn't willfully ignorant. But anyway, we'll keep making art, we'll keep fixing shit, as long as we can get parts, which is the next worry. PS6 is just around the corner. Okay, so they did release the PS5. Gotcha. What am I looking for? Screwdriver. And do the DI output. I just want to check all the solder joints on this. People see what they want to see. Doesn't matter what side of the fence they're on. Well, I saw the future reality, Scotty, and now that's what's happening. So when someone says something that they're going to do something over and over and over again, maybe believe them a little bit when they say it 500,000 times. At least they're going to try to do that. So I'm going to fundamentally disagree with you there, Scotty, because I'm not seeing what I want to see. I'm seeing the exact opposite of what I want to see. And it's getting more and more unlike what I want to see every day, so... Clickety click. I might just undo those cable ties. Goes on everywhere in the world. What does that make it better? I don't. It's going on there too, enjoying those property taxes or increases, are you? The property taxes are a good thing. They should happen. That is a good thing. And the rent increases. The rent's actually slowed down a bit because of Labor's policies. Basically, the rent, they've put a curb on it by getting rid of the capital gains tax breaks. And all the people that were going, oh, housing prices, now they're going, oh no, housing prices, we want them to go up. It's like all these right-wing fucking news channels just attack the opposition, saying housing prices are too unattainable. And when they actually start to go down because of the policies they've implemented, which they said they were going to implement, and they did, now the right-wing news is like, oh no, property investors, they're removing your income streams. Like, good. It's what they said they're doing it, and it's great. They're just oppositional to every single thing they do. Simple as that. Yeah, I know it's the income inequality that's the source of all the problems, Scotty. Absolutely. The politics is just a symptom of it, but they're doing their best to perpetuate it as well. So, and you can't say it's not particularly based in the US, because you are the most powerful country on the planet. And you're doing it first and everyone else is following, so... Is there a washer in there? Oh, yep, spring washer. I'll just put them back on there because I'll forget to put that back on. Well, I won't forget it, I'll just get a new one. Yeah, that's the thing. You can't just donate to the ATO, Greg. Should be able to, eh? Yeah, like just pay more tax if you want. But yeah, they need to be billionaires need to be taxed into non-existence, essentially. The world doesn't need billionaires. There's no purpose for them. Shit has gone on for centuries. Yeah, but it looked like it was going to get better, Scotty. And it has done for all of my life. And now it's not. So I'd like to see it continue to get better. Call me crazy. Man, they're all loose as. So here we go on 6. Still for midday. See if I've still got a voice by then, eh? I'm getting pretty hungry. I might fuck off and eat something, and then you can catch us over on 6's stream at midday, champions. They just find a way to spend it on submarines, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. We need to stop this military-industrial complex bullshit and just ripping money out of people's pockets to blow people up with. It's fucked up. When a single person can end world hunger by themselves and have it not even phase their wealth, and they refuse to do it, Scotty. That's what fucks me up. Can you imagine how loved the person that did that would be? And these people just choose to be hated continually. Literally, it would barely make a dent in their wealth. And they just choose not to do it. Every morning they wake up and go, nah. It's insane. We should make the new currency full serviced and repaired Blues Juniors. Do people follow that weird Sky News Australia? Like, yeah, no, there's people here that follow that. It's the most unhinged, fucked up misinformation channel in Australia, Sky News. It actually is owned by Fox. It's a Fox... It is Fox. It's the same fucking company. Other rich people would have them killed. Yeah, probably, yeah. There's got to be shady shit like that going on, eh? Like, people say Illuminati or whatever, but, like, someone can be a decent person, you know, and they get successful, and then they reach a point, and they just turn into a fucking alien. It's so weird. It's just... They can be a perfectly reasonable person, then bang, they just turn into a fucking duplicitous alien. It's weird. Yeah, they're both Murdoch. Murdoch should be fucking removed from public discourse. Let's say that. Fucking Australian. Yeah, Scotty. Maybe it isn't so much America's fault. It's literally an Australian that ruined the fucking planet. Ruined the world. But, you know, if it wasn't Rupert, it would have just been some other dickhead down the road. I just don't know. I don't know who can watch Sky News with a straight face. They contradict themselves in like one sentence. Like everything they say is contradictory to what they just said. It's you have to be seriously stupid. But Six was explaining this to us as well. It's like how you get the emails like, oh, I am Nigerian Prince, please give me money, and please give me your account details so I can put this money in, and it's full of typos and bad grammar and stupid shit because it's a filter. It's not that that's an accident. That's on purpose because it filters through to dumb people, and all the intelligent people go, okay, it's a scam. So they don't end up wasting their time on intelligent people. Filtering them out later, they get them out at the first stage. So then the stupid people remain to be scammed more easily. So by Fox News and stuff having intentional contradictions and stuff that just doesn't make sense even on the surface level, it's sucking in the fucking idiots. So then they can tell you the next insane thing, and they know that they don't have a big uphill battle to get you to believe it. So it's a big filter to filter in the fucking idiots. The lefties losing it segment. Yeah, that one middle pickup. It's whatever, fuckwits. Close. It's mainly the Anglosphere that suffered a massive consolidation of ownership. The US is bad. Australia is worse. Australia's worse, you reckon? The UK has the BBC. Oh, hang on, you're talking 6. Are you talking Fox and Sky? 6 years. 6. Let me start that sentence again. 6 is talking about Fox versus Sky. The UK has the BBC. It's just a public funded voice for right wing points. Yeah, the BBC's dog shit now, isn't it? Wait, that guy wasn't a prince? What guy was a prince? What are we talking about? Oh, you're talking about the Nigerian, yeah. Sky is only preaching to their Sydney inner north suburb demographic. Yeah. Meanwhile, Hungary changed governments and immediately purged the propagandist media Orban set up. Yeah, that was fucking beautiful, wasn't it? Same thing in, or similar thing in Brazil. I see they're not backing down recently. Little Marco, the fucking shitbox person that he is, trying to put pressure on Brazil. Oop, dropping parts. Little Marco Big Shoes. Fucking traitor of a person. Oh, these things are painful to get out, I remember now. There's one more screw hiding behind the transformer. Just don't force anything, champions. Just slow. I feel so bad for Brazil in the past. They were treated like trash, man. It's been rough for Brazilians there. Brad's news channel. I try not to, you know, like I know you're sick of it, but hey, talk about life here, and that's life, isn't it? Oh, there's a bit of Sarah Blasco on the radio. You guys know Sarah Blasco? It feels like we've got no control, doesn't it, Scotty? I'm not going to lie. But, you know, little by little, keep battling on, brother. Alright, I haven't disconnected anything yet. Might be able to do this without disconnecting everything. I totally want to be a political content creator. I can get angry. Yeah. People get upset when you get angry as an amp channel, eh? I'm like, what, you don't have emotions? I live the change I want to see. Yeah, that's a good way to do it, Scotty. It's about all we can do, and just keep making people aware of it, because a lot of people aren't aware of anything that's going on. Like, I'm a little bit tapped in, like maybe 20% or so, and it disgusts me, but the majority of people aren't even 1% tapped in. They've got no idea what's happening. And then, because they've got no idea and shit's gotten so insane in the last 2 years, you tell them just matter of fact something that happened like this week, and they're like bullshit, surely not. Fucking, no, you're being hysterical. You're over representing it. And you're like, really, man? And you just like show them an article in like a mainstream news source, like just matter of fact, no opinionated, and they're like, holy fuck. I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been saying, man. Yeah, they're no longer news at all, Seth. They're fully captured, all of those channels, absolutely. And the funny thing is, they still get panned for being extreme left or some shit when they're actually owned by like right wing. It's just insane. Did you see how LG is just going to full on spy on you and not tell you? Yeah. Was that Lewis Rossman did a thing on that? I'm a mushroom, just keep me in the dark and feed me bullshit. Yeah. So funny whenever like MS Now and CNN get panned for being left wing, and then you actually listen to what they're saying, and you're like, holy fuck. You know, who's Barry Weiss own again? Rossman and Gamers Nexus. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Rossman's been on a bit of a roll recently with the crazy shit he's been exposing, but he does have a couple of contradictory things too. He's kind of sort of, some of these people, they're pro-capitalism, but it's like, I guess it sort of goes back to what is their definition of capitalism? Like, I think it's to the point now where we're always going to have some extent of capitalism, but we want capitalism that's less inequitable. Is that the word? Barry Weiss is EAC. CBS completely destroyed the company. She's going to take over the role. Yeah, she's going to take over CNN. Yeah, so that's coming up. And there was the David. I keep going to say David Ellison. Ellison. I keep getting him mixed up with the sex pest from Megadeth. Larry Ellison. Not David Ellison. Alright, I'm going to put a new bridge rack in because that is cooked. People think capitalism means markets, although you can't have markets in more socialist systems. Yeah, I think the stock market should just be erased and just made it illegal. Sorry, you had your chance. You're anti-human. Lewis isn't 100% spot on every single time, but he's pretty damn close to being accurate. Yeah, it's any sort of differences I'd have with his political standpoint is more than made up for by his activism and his refusal to back down. It's like a dog with a bone, and I love that about him. Bridge recto. Where am I? What am I doing? Over here. Oh man, don't make me refer to my ancient spreadsheet. We can use the same. David Ellison is Larry Ellison's son. Really? The name behind? Oh, maybe that's where I'm getting mixed up because I'm getting mixed up with the Megadeth sex pest. KBPC602. KBPC602. We can use the same one. KBP602. .206, sorry. And this is 602. Let me look up the specs. KBPC 602. It is 200 volt 6 amp. All right. This sheet's falling apart. Oh, I think that's in my little unsorted semiconductor box. Damn it. I was afraid of that. Oh, I started making the bend over noises, the old man bend over noises. Can't do that. Every economy before a few hundred years ago wasn't capitalist. You can't see the problem with it by now. You're dumber than me, and buddy, that's pretty dumb. That's what I keep saying. It's like all of these things that people can't live without have been like a development in the last fucking microsecond in the scheme of humanity's existence. And things were getting better there for a while, and then, that's why it's a bit shocking. A lot of older people are like, why do you care about it so much? And like, well, in your life, things are better than they were when you were born. in our life, things are getting worse than when we were born. So it's the first time we've seen in our life things get worse, whereas comparatively to older people, things are still better than when they were born. Maybe, well, particularly if they're like already own their house and stuff. They're not exposed to any of this stuff, and they seem to have a crippling inability to put themselves in other people's shoes and understand what we're worried about. It seems to be an ongoing theme. So I guess what we're saying is some of it in Australia seems a bit removed, and people also wonder why I care about American politics. Well, for starters, everything that happens in America has shockwaves over here. But also, why wouldn't I care about Americans even though they're on the other face of the planet, other side of the planet, other face of the planet, flat earther? Even though they're on the other side of the planet, I still want them to have free healthcare. Why wouldn't I? Of course I would. I don't just stop caring about someone because they're far away. That's the sound of the police. I'm not seeing any Bridge Rex champions. Can I gloss over them? I thought I bought a bag of them. Maybe I need to order a couple of them because they're the ones that are on the... I wouldn't have ordered them for a while because they're the ones that are on the replacement or the JCM 2000 PCBs, which I don't need anymore because I build them. I use a different type. But I used to replace them on the issue 10, issue 20 boards with one that stands a bit higher off the board. There we go. Why weren't you on the data sheet? 66. Oh, hang on. Did I hand draw that in? Yes, I did. BR10 10 amp 1000 volt. Massively overrated, but it'll do the job. Let's put a 6 amp one in there instead. PB610. If it's the right form factor, 65 draw 65B. Yeah, that'll work, that'll work. Okay, okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Just check the pin out, still the same. They generally are, but I did get caught out by that once. Yep. Hopefully we can recover those pads. Real capitalists don't care about anyone that doesn't share their nervous system. It's a good way of putting it. Culture is global now, yeah. Sort of. Sort of. I'd say American culture's become global culture. I wouldn't say all cultures are global. Like, do you know anything about, like, what it would be like to grow up in, like, I don't know, fucking Chechnya or something? I don't. Heard an interview with Robert Smith talking about The Cure's last album. He was saying it's the first time in his life when things to be going backwards, and he lived in the 70s with blackouts, yeah. That's what it feels like, man. It's and it's really you can tell why some people just tune out when people just go, nah, you're crazy. You know, they're just like, okay, whatever. Clearly you don't get it then. So Jack White's got some new shit out, eh? I've heard a couple of songs from him this week. Last week, I should say. Gaming culture is just as much Japanese as it is American, for example. You know, it's dire when someone who was there for the Milk Snatcher to do her thing says it's shit. The Milk Snatcher? What? when someone who was there, I don't know what you're talking about. Six. Can you dumb that down for me, please? I'm not getting some cultural reference there, I believe. Ah, Maggie Thatcher. Right. Ah, yeah, because she took milk from the kids. Yeah. Fucking mole. It's times like this I wish I was religious so I actually believe people were in hell. It's the biggest injustice in the world as an atheist. When you realise that when people die they just stop existing. It'd be great if they lived in hell. Oh well. I remember I first looked into Margaret Thatcher when I was a kid, and Austin Powers came out, and when he was when he was trying not to get a hard on, he was thinking Margaret Thatcher, Margaret Thatcher. So then I looked into who Margaret Thatcher was, and I was horrified. Man, that's been burnt, that area. All they had to do was lift it up off the board a little bit, champions. Wouldn't be hard. She seemed pretty miserable. Yeah, a lot of these hateful people, they are just miserable, eh? And they just want everyone else to be as miserable as they are. It's quite sad, but really. Her spitting image puppet was excellent. What was that? Did they make a puppet of her or something? Brad, I used the KBL 04 E4 rectifier as a replacement for a mouse. I elevated off the board more. Yeah, I only wanted about half an inch off the board, something like that, because I don't want it to vibrate too much. I don't want it to put stress on those pads. Too much load from resonating along with the music, because it is a combo. So I don't want its resonant frequency to be in like the frequency range of the guitar. Yeah, she was friends with Savile. Yeah, of course she fucking was. Same old shit over and over again. Everyone's like, "Oh, Epstein's such a weird thing." No, it's not. It's like literally the end case scenario of all of these people. And you're seeing it now with the Taint brothers. You're seeing it with the Taint brothers. Watching them be this generation's Epstein. And Savile was the previous generation's Epstein. It's just an ongoing thing, and needs to be rooted out all the time. His prolapse sphincter posting on X. Heard about that this morning, isn't he? He's already getting a train run through him in jail, is he? Couldn't happen to a better bloke. She threatened to send a British warship full of hostages into Argentina waters and wondered why Argentina preempted that by invading the Falklands, where it's said to be... Okay, that's... I'll look into it. I need to brush up on world history, man. I know so little. I'm just a oblivious little dickhead. I only learn about it when we're forced to. I wish I went to uni and stuff now and learned a bit of sociology and whatever, but it's too busy trying to make rent. It's splitting image. Isn't it spitting image though? I've looked into that, and it was I think it was determined by like Webster Dictionary or something. I thought it was splitting image for years, and then apparently it wasn't. I wish the English major was still here. English major, you here? Click. That glue's so effective, isn't it? So yeah, this, you can see the can starting to corrode under the skin of the cap. See, it's got like a bit of herpes happening under the plastic there. So I wasn't going to wait for that to break through. Oh, even though it is an annoying 550 volt. That plastic's really hardened too. It's starting to get corrosion on the aluminium there, pitting. So we'll change them out, and the rest of the caps are only 10 microfarad. There's a lot of them, but they're distributed. See, that glue doesn't work at all. Come on, Panny boy. There you go, champion. Yeah, that just dropped out. So that glue, literally, it comes off that easy. So what good is it? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. Oh. Let's upgrade the screen grids while we're there. Anything we can to just make life easier for those poor little EL84s, 34s. I've got plenty of 2Ks, 2.2Ks in stock for my Marshalls. It's a bit tricky because these wire wounds where the leads come out the bottom. Oh, hang on. Framing. Where the wires come out, the posts come out the bottom. The lead spacing's very close together. So axial components don't quite work very well. You've got to sort of bend the leads underneath, do a bit of lead forming. Hey Alex, how you going, legend? Everyone's been asking about you, Alex. How you feeling, buddy? I've given you the occasional ring, but I've forgotten about you for a couple of days, weeks, since we last talked. I haven't forgotten about you, but I've been meaning to ring you more often and catch up, but I've forgotten because I'm busy. But yeah, everyone say hi to Alex. Hi, Mr. Alex. Hi, Mr. Catlow. Remember at school when you'd be like, good morning, kids. Good morning, Mr. Catlow. At a school assembly or whatever. Spitting Image is a comedy show with puppets that takes the piss out of everyone and everything. Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out. I like that kind of shit. Have you guys been watching InfoWars? With Tim Heidecker? I can't believe how well that all worked out. And Alex Jones fucking needs to be locked up for good. Traitor. Has he paid his fucking $1 billion fine or whatever it was? Something tells me he'll weasel out of that somehow. I don't know how you can weasel out of a $500 million judgment. Like, I couldn't weasel out of a $500 parking fine, but somehow. I love Tim Heidecker so much. I love the voice he puts on. Yeah, they got Tim in. I don't think they could have just run it as an onion project. And it's just amazing what happened. Do you know anything about Tom Morello's 2205? Chris Church just did a cap job on mine and keeps trying to get me to do a bunch of mods. 2205. So Chris is probably trying to get you to address some of the shortcomings in that amp, because it's not a great amp, to be honest. And I don't know if Tom just used the clean channel and overdrove it with the pedal or whatever, because he used a lot of pedals. I don't know what mode Tom Morello used it in, but there's nothing special about the 2205. Anything special about it is Tom's playing and effects more than the amp itself. So yeah, anything Chris Church says is valid, because he's a good tech, and he's great tech. And if he's trying to convince you that a mod's worthwhile, I think he sees what the amp's capable of doing, and he is trying to make you aware of how much better it could be. Having said that, that is not a very mod-friendly amp. The infrastructure of the channel switching and the stuff that you can't really get around makes it a little bit tricky to get a lot of returns out of. But he might have tricks up his sleeve that I don't know about. No, in fact, I wouldn't put that past Chris. He does know a lot more than I know about certain subjects. So 2205 still car after modding. You know, I don't know what mods he's doing. It could be improved with relatively minimal mods, but the fundamental problems with it are the architecture of the amp and the channel switching, which is hard to get around without redesigning large sections of the amp. I think Morello said that it's stock and he's used the same setting since 1993. Joey Santiago from the Pixies used one for his longest time too, but I think he's on 2204 since a reunion. I did see Joey play in Sydney and it was great. I am not a very good guitar and amp nerd, champions. I go and see an artist, I don't give a fuck what they're using. I don't even remember what guitar they used, man. I just lose myself in the music and drift off into a happy la la land when I watch live shows. Not a very good amp nerd, sorry. I'm too busy enjoying the music, to be honest. At least I can still do that. A lot of techs lose that ability. Making music's difficult, but appreciating it's easy to me still. The 2205 is well, it's a guitar amp. It's not a bass amp, but it's a dual channel amp, so it's not particularly a lead amp. It's like a Marshall's first attempt at channel switching and doing everything. Used one of Alex's boards, which was great. Which one did you use? Is FX Loop or like a project board, Thomas? 2205s are a bit like messes, full of problems waiting to emerge. JTM60, the Thatcher of amps. Starting to like you, Greg. You should stick around, buddy. It's the first time I've noticed you in chat. Are you new here, or have you been lurking? Brad, have you ever seen the inside of a tube-driven tone wheel organ? No, I haven't. Six has. Got one. Was gonna gut it for parts. Nah, man, you gotta restore it as an organ. Gonna gut it for parts, but then saw the inside and it was insane. Just recap the chassis. Yeah, the amps are the simplest thing about those things. They're just little chassis with an amp in there. Sometimes power supply in a separate box. But yeah, maintaining them would be a big job. Sorry, I'm getting scratchy in the throat. Need a cup of tea. Oh, 2205 main boy. He makes a drop in for him, does he? Do you make drop ins for them, Alex? Yeah, I got better ideas for that circuit. Okay, I'm a bit out of the loop on that one. In the words of Mother Mary, fill me in, Alex. I'd rather keep it stock. I have other amps that I gig, namely the DSL100. I have an FYM 2000 board. Fuck yeah! How'd it go for you? It's treating you alright? Mogwix. I met Tom Morello in Brisbane 2006. Talked to him about my Max Telly pickup upgrade. He's a sticker for not going down the mod route. He's a stickler for not going down the mod route. Okay. The fact that he talked to you about pickups and stuff means he must be a real one. He must be a fucking legend. Because for any sort of celebrity to stand there and talk about tech stuff to you, shows they're proper nerd. As a touring muso, I can see why you wouldn't want to go down the mod route, because if your fucking luggage gets caught up somewhere or whatever, you've got to be flexible. So if you can design your rig and your methods around bone stock equipment, well then you can sound fucking awesome. You can work with anything, no matter where you are. Some higher shitbox rig, you can work with that. I was talking to Scotty from the Jets, Scotty SK man, about that. He moved to a Fender DeVille after using JCM 800s for years, because it was almost impossible to find two JCM 800s that haven't been modded and that sound similar. So when you're traveling and you pick who's going to mod a fucking DeVille, they're all pretty bone stock. He can make his rig sound like his rig no matter where he is by hiring a cheap amp and getting the show on the road. You know, and that's a very smart way of doing it. Sorry, Chippy, I've got a really scratchy throat. I'm not used to talking this often. I don't know what's wrong with me. I used to talk for hours. Live stream for bloody 6 hours and shit. We're almost up to 4 hours. Holy fuck. I've been in chat briefly before. It's 2:40 a.m. here. Sometimes I miss them. Do you do like a heads up for them? Generally, I'll not at the moment because I'm so unorganised, but usually I'll schedule the Saturday one the day before. Yeah, sorry about the short notice one. I just thought about doing it. As I've pretty much been working all weekends and stuff, and yesterday I had a bit of a day off. Tried working on the bike for a bit, but didn't get far. I just wanted to chill with you guys for a bit. In the Blues contacted me about fixing his deluxe. Isn't In the Blues in the US? Oh, hang on, no, In the Blues is the Aussie. Yeah, man, that's awesome. In the Blues is an Aussie guitar tuber. I need a drink of water or something, champions. Give me a minute. Hang on. Just making a cup of chai tea with honey. That should sort my throat out. Oh, he's local to you. Yeah, In the Blues. I think he gave me a shout out or something once. I can't remember what it was about. But yeah, I think he's one of the good guys. Design it around backline amps. That's how they all do it, I guess. Yeah, it's sort of what you got to do if you're constantly touring, just as a extra level. It's nice to have like a fucking wicked amp and that, but at the end of the day, you need to just get the show on the road, and everything else comes second to that. So if you can design your rig around commonly found production amps and just run them clean and get all your overdrive from your pedals and whatever, that's where the DeVilles shine, because they're like a big clean power amp, you know. They've got some tone shaping like a Fender Tone Stack is the biggest one with a big scoop. But you can run them basically as a clean power amp. You can even if you had a Model E, just plug it into the power amp input and away you go. I could see Brad on an Evo or a shovel head. I don't fucking think so. I wouldn't ride one of those boat anchors. You'd see me on a fucking Ducati or a Hayabusa or something maybe. I prefer big twins though. I've got an Aprilia and a VTR 1000. I would like an Aprilia V4. Would be fucking sick. I love V4s. But nah, I wouldn't. I'd never ride a cruiser. Wouldn't see me dead on one of them. I want shit that can corner without throwing you off. I'm not a superbike rider by any means, but I do like them. I like sports bikes. Shane is the guy's name it in the blues. Shane, okay. Brad's a good old commie. No, I don't think I'd ride one of them, Greg. On something that actually runs. I do like cafe races though, and street fighters. I like naked bikes too, but I don't like cruisers at all. I just having your hands and your feet in front of you just feels so foreign. It feels so uncontrolled, and if anything goes wrong, you can't respond. The bike's not responsive enough. It's all just designed to pose and show off for people. And what you don't realise is when you're riding a bike, you think you feel all tough and stuff, and no one gives a fuck. No one cares what you're doing. Everyone's just getting on with their life. They don't like, oh, loud exhaust. That's just an inconvenience to people. It's annoying. They don't like it. It's makes you appear antisocial when you're doing like burnouts and shit. It's intimidating, and if you get off on that, that just means you're mentally ill. And you need probably need therapy. So, you know, your controls on the wrong side down here. Well, my right hand, I have the starter button, and that's about it. And on the left hand, you have your flash, you know, your high beams, and your blinkers. And on the left, you got, I mean, they don't redesign the fucking things for different countries, so it's the same all over the world. Chrome sofas, yeah. My main gig amp is a Hot Rod Deluxe. I use UAFX knuckles into the power amp return. Yeah, there you go. It works awesome, fits in the trunk. Haven't done the reliability upgrades, so it might be cooked already. Well, you probably wouldn't even notice if that area failed if you're using that like that Mogwix, because the only thing that the low voltage supplies is the channel switching and the reverb, which is completely like unused if you plug into the effects loop return. It's still not great that it's cooking itself, but what I'm saying is that area of the circuit could have completely failed and you wouldn't even know because you're plugging straight into the phase inverter. So I don't think there's effects loop recovery solid state. No, there isn't. It can't be, because when you lose a rail, the signal still carries on. It just doesn't, you don't get reverb or channel switching. Yeah, I must admit, loud bikes piss me off more than excite me these days. Usually bikes that shouldn't be that loud anyway. No one wants to hear your fucking 125. Yeah, when they get the learner legal bikes and put a big open can on it when it's a fucking 250 single banger. Got about 14 horsepower. And you hear how long it is between gear changes and you realise how fucking slow that bike is. I was anti-Harley until I rode an Evo. I'd ride a Buell, but they discontinued them. They went belly up. Buells were awesome, like a Harley motor but with a rideable chassis. I rode a Beezer with one. Fucking confusing for the first corner when you go to brake and shift into neutral. Yeah, that would be scary. Fuck, it'd be worth it to ride a Beezer though. They're fucking cool. I love my adventure bike. Ooh, 850 GS. Nice. Good size engine. Fast, goes anywhere. Yeah, they're cool bikes. That's what I want to hire if we do a bike trip around Scotland. I'd love to hire one of them. And do a bit of off-road stuff as well, you know. Haven't ridden mostly Italian bikes until my late 30s. The odd Jap RR in there. I made the Ulysses Club stereotype. Migration to a 1250 GSA Rhino. And for the most part, I haven't regretted it. 1250, I don't know what that is. Don't tell me it's one of those three-wheel things with the two wheels up front, please. I'll have to ban you. No. That's okay. That's a BMW. That's a big one. That's a good one. That's not a Ulysses stereotype. That's a good bike, man. That's nice. Let's have a look. Nickname for large. It's 1250. And that's just a twin, is it? Yeah, flat twin. Boxer. Fuck, that'd be a beast. Surely that wheel would come up pretty easily on that fucking thing. Motorrad. Yeah, I like the BMW adventure bikes. They're nice. They are fucking heavy though. Yeah, they're top heavy. Aprilia 660 would be fun, but they're so expensive in the States. Man, they're expensive everywhere, eh? They're pretty awesome though. They're up to 1,300. Holy shit. Let me just grab my cup of tea, champions. One sec. It's just brewing over here. Where's my spoon? Where are my spoons gone? Who stole my spoons? Bloody heroin addict. I'll stir it with a fork. Something just not right about stirring a cup of tea with a fork. It's like flying a kite at night. There's just something unnatural about it. Bit of milk. Has it gone off? No, it's good. Alright, a bit of honey in my tea. That should sort me out. Still got a stream of 6 yet. It's better. Wee copy. Oh, that's a bit hot. Adventure bikes are people that need a sport touring. What? Buell was bought out by Harley. I thought Buell was always owned by Harley. And then Harley ended it. Because they use Harley motors. Ain't no one riding that hard. Thing will fall over and you'll never get out from under it. I think 1,000 or like an 800 is like the perfect... Probably 750 at 800 is like the perfect sort of displacement for a adventure bike with all-purpose tyres. But yeah, they are top heavy. That's funny, I stir my tea with a tiny kite. Really? I made it a bit too hot. Upgrade-itis, yeah. You ready to go, 6 or what? What's happening? See if he started a live stream schedule. I don't know what happened recently, but the algorithm changed. Since I had that issue, with Facebook basically just... Oh, here we go. Test stream. Okay, scheduled for 12 p.m. All right, we've got 5 minutes, champions. Let me go over there. I'll get the link for you. And you can come over and watch us. All right, so I'm going to piss off. But what was I just saying? Talking about bikes. I don't know. I can't remember. Oh, it's really hot. Alright, anyway, I'm going to end it here, champions. Thanks for joining us. It's been a good stream. Shit, in almost 4 hours, man. Off the cuff stream. Highest concurrent views, 85? 84. 84. So that's pretty good. Is someone here? Hello? Yeah, mate. How you going? Who are you looking for?
Unit 2?
Yeah, that's just next door. That's the air conditioning shop. Who's it say on the box? It's Unit 2.
Here.
Yeah, so that's just in that door there.
Thank you.
No worries, mate. He was very timid. Should just yell out, "Oi! Where the fuck's this going?" See you on the 6 side. Every Japanese bike is good. Well, they punch very high. Especially, even the early ones punch pretty high. Are Kawasaki bikes any good? The W230, I think that's the sort of... That's like the Triumphy looking one, isn't it? The Scrambler. I've got a mate that's got one and he loves it. Well, I've got a mate. He's a bit of a right-wing chud, so I've kept doing it at arm's length recently. But he's got one. If you hear this, mate, stop being such a right-wing chud and I'll talk to you more. Stop being mates with neo-Nazis and I'll talk to you. We've talked about that shit for years. Anyway, great to be here for the duration for once. No worries, Simo. And hope you enjoy your gear, whatever it was I worked on. I can't remember off your name. I missed it if you mentioned it earlier. We were talking bikes and always good. Yeah, we offset the politics with a bit of talking about bikes. So I feel like all is well in the universe again after talking about politics and then talking about bikes. Now we're sort of level. Yeah, we're coming to a close, Greg. But like I said, just head over to Six's stream over here because he's testing his new stream setup. So we're going to talk shit over there too. We're just going to talk shit mainly. There's not going to. I don't think there's Ken Simpson. Ken, how you going, mate? Simo. Right, yeah, that makes sense now. Excellent. It's always good to put a name to a face. Yeah, head over to Six's stream and we'll just talk shit over there. If anything, he'll probably be more politics than me, but we'll see how we go. Let's talk tech. Let's try and steer it towards tech. All right, legends, take it easy. I'll see you over there.